Alrighty then, hello everybody, welcome to this run, as aforementioned by the Dark and Rose. Welcome in everybody. My name is Nikoheart, and I'm, as mentioned, I'm going to be playing Alien Isolation with a steering wheel, because isn't that how everybody is meant to play a video game? I assume so, so I'm kind of doing it. This is going to be no major glitches, novice, so we're doing technically the easiest category, which is actually the hardest category. Who would have thought, eh? That's easy as hard, but I'll kind of go over the reasons why. I just realized I need to quickly back out because I'm gonna do a quick thing. Here's a doggy on the screen. I need to actually set my FPS to 275 frames per second. That's actually a prerequisite. I was on 140 because I was actually doing a different category recently, so this is a good start to the run.
Nico, let me stop you right there. Nico, let me stop you right there. I have an important question. Also, I think that vocals are coming through your game feed.
They shouldn't be.
Can confirm. Just now, I hear myself talking. Can confirm.
Okay, hold on a second. Even though I turned off the... okay. 1 second. Try that now.
Check. All good?
All right, yeah, I realized what I did. It was a go XLR thing. So, okay, so now that I've got to the... Did I just do it? I'm being terrible right now, so let me just double check. I actually pressed apply because I wasn't paying attention there. Usually what I have to do is set this game to 275 FPS because that is actually going to help us with the run. If it's going to be unlimited, then it actually makes the game run slower than it should. It's a weird situation, but it is what it is after all. Right, so we're going to be playing on novice, but another prerequisite is that we're going to be playing in Italian. Italian is 30 seconds faster for language pack, but it's actually not the fastest. Technically, French is faster by 0.5 seconds, but the audio cues are a little bit hard to make out, so Italian is more preferred by it. I'm using the software ReWASD, which is going to be converting this Xbox 360 wheel into basically keyboard and mouse inputs. And I think we're pretty much ready to go. Yeah. So I'll give you guys a cue for time.
Yeah, but I had a question that I didn't get to ask you before because I realized the audio as I was about to ask my question. Why did you upgrade to Windows 11?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I was actually
quite easily myself. Because I did. To be fair, it's just a game PC, so I don't really have any stresses or worries in sense of like OBS and stuff like that as well, even though I technically am to kind of help me out with my live splitter. But it's a thing. I know.
You're doing QA for Microsoft and you're not getting paid for it, man.
Oh, you memo, come on now. All right, so we're going to get ourselves into the run very shortly. We're going to be skipping 2 cutscenes, and I'll give you guys a big indication of when time will start. So get ready on the timer, please. There's 1 cutscene, there's 2 cutscenes, and time begins now. All right, so everybody, welcome in to Alien Isolation on a steering wheel, because this is the biggest meme that I think I know, which is to play games unconventionally. I do lots of other games unconventionally, like Outlast, like Jazz Punk, soon to come Celeste, and a few other things I'm not going to reveal just yet, but we got some cool things, which is going to be waking up. I mean, imagine waking up, and am I right? I mean, it's a nice thing to do. Because then you get to say hey to the day, you get to see the sun, and all the, well, being a gamer, we don't get to see the sun too much, but I digress. And we are Amanda Ripley, which is Ellen Ripley's daughter from obviously the movies. And the kind of like the basis of the lore right now is that we're trying to find out what happened to our mother. Because, like, I'm sure if you guys have seen the movies or haven't seen the movies, essentially bad things happen. And, you know, our location for our mother just suddenly goes... So we're trying to find like any kind of remnants of like data logs, video logs, audio logs that may ascertain to their location. So we're going to do a quick skip, which is that. Ripley. Bye-bye. So what we just did there was that we activated the dialogue through like a sort of like an activation plane. And once that happens, the dialogue will trigger for a certain period of time. Once you actually get out of that plane at a specific moment like this, so you can see that right there, it stops. Now, depending on when the dialogue will ascertain another trigger to basically advance the progression of the game, then it'll just like feel like the conversation is done. So here's Samuel's. We're going to do it again, but we're going to wait for another dialogue at a specific point. So we have to wait for that second line there. That second line. Otherwise, if we go a little bit too early, then we have to re-listen to that whole dialogue again. I've done that countless times. It's a big pain. It's a big time loss, obviously. So there is actually resetability in mission 1, which is kind of funny. So we're going to do the same again for Taylor over here. Wait here. And then make our way through. So again, we're waiting for these objectives to complete. That's the most important thing right now, is objective complete. Otherwise, we can't advance the game too much. Now, if Samuel's... Oh, I was worried there, because Samuel's coming through here can actually get soft locked. So I was kind of worried he wasn't coming through quite quickly there. So I was like, oh no, are we going to go into a marathon run with a soft lock? Probably, but luckily we didn't, so thank goodness for that. Now we have to wait for Axel to get to about the middle before we start making our way into the little briefing room. Before we get like briefed that we're going to go over to Sevastopol, which is where we kind of like figured out that there is some kind of transmission that is held there, and like well, it's kind of like the black box, like the flight recorder of the vessel that's our mother was on. So we're just like, okay, let's go over there. Maybe that's good things over there. But as we're going across, we're going to be getting into our spacesuits and be going over a tepid line via EVA lines. And then Meteoroid and Asteroids are going to do the thing, and then tepid a line. We're all going to go spiraling into space, because that's a normal thing for video games, isn't it? Especially like space-related games. So we're going to click in this document in a second. And then we're going to skip a cutscene. Right, so I can confirm that was a 3 minutes and 30 seconds M1 split, and basically this is kind of all calculated with IGT load removals, because every time we go into those little load removal bits, it's the case of like it's not counted for real time. So I should probably actually try to change it so that I can see what the... Ah, yeah, I've got global hotkeys on, so we're not going to worry about the timer for now. I keep on forgetting to turn off global hotkeys, because we are going to be... Well, actually, we don't need to. That's only for when we're doing PC. Don't worry. I'll let my brain roll right now, so it's all fine. It's all fine. Except I can't get to compare of personal best with game time. Anyway, we'll move on. So now we're in Sevastopol. We luckily managed to land on the side of Sevastopol, and you know, just to kind of like grab it, then get into the airlock, and then luckily be humanly safe. And I say humanly safe without any kind of real merit, because there's xenomorphs aboard. Sorry, spoilers for an Alien Isolation game that there's xenomorphs on here. Excuse me. But yeah, like we're just basically going to try to find the way towards finding the black box or the flight recorder. And here's some scripted fall damage. In all difficulties, the scripted fall damage is 25%. So you can see the little health bar on the top, in the bottom left-hand corner. That is going to be something that we will need to manage throughout the rest of the run. If we were doing Nightmare, you wouldn't be able to see your health at all, and you kind of have to predict all the values. Now, thankfully, with Nightmare, all the values are quite specific, so that way you can really sort of like factor in percentages and values. So there's a huge spreadsheet of like exact values for, like, you know, if you take a revolver hit or a shotgun hit, it's quite in depth. It's quite in depth. So now that we've gotten to such a point of Sevastopol, we got to find out that quite a lot of the ways that we want to get to are all kind of like either cordoned off or the electricity is turned off. So I like to call this the rerouting run, is the best way you can say it. I don't really call it, I just decided to call it because that's a meme. But as you can see here, we're having to turn on the power again for this area because the power has been turned off. So re-engaging power, opening a door through the power re-engagement, and that's going to happen a lot through this game. So here we go. Now, for those who are wondering as well, it's like, how are you going forwards and backwards? You can actually see my little foot pedal just beside me as well. That is basically my forwards and backwards, just like an actual steering wheel. Who'd have thought, eh? Now, sometimes you can get that electricity hit. That will take about another 25% off your health, regardless of what difficulty you're on. So we're going to run in with 50% health, and we're going to try to manage our health with like item resourcement, making sure that we don't overload our inventory management, is what I was trying to say, because if he overloads, then when you try to pick up loot later on, it's going to be a case that it won't get out of the prompt quickly, and it's time loss essentially. So what was there was just the space vessel that we were on, which was the Torrens. The Torrens, I think. I may be wrong. I can't. Anyway, it's been a while since I've gone through the lore, so I may get some things incorrect. Just as an FYI, why have you guys got a poll saying which version of Windows? You guys are memeing on me now. I don't like this. I don't like this. So. Again, as we've done, more rerouting, more power re-engagement, and we're going to try to continuously make our way through. We are going to be meeting a friend very shortly, but I guess for the meantime, did we have any plugs or anything that we needed to talk about at Dark and Rose?
Yes. Actually, if we want to do the promotion for what we have going on, right now we're still looking at. For the hack to stream bid war, we're looking at Mega Man Maker at 978, still taking the top position with a link to the past behind it at $569.63, and Axiom Verge at $356.21. You guys want to see one of your favorite titles alongside things like Super Metroid and Turbo Kid and Gotta Go Slow? I put those donations in.
Gotta Go Slow is the best kind of background, so definitely if you are able to donate, put your money towards the Gotta Go Slow, please. So another good thing that just happened there was Axel, who we just met, went fast. Good boy. Good. You get pats later on the heads. Your bald head. Lovely. So Axel is RNG for the point that he leaves. So it's kind of the case that if he goes slow, it's not a good time. However, that was reasonably fast for the way he decided to use his 2 legs to run. So we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot right now. And we're going over this way specifically because the way that we want to go next is kind of still, cornered off, and we can't actually easily get through. But going up here, we're going to be getting a, we'll say a weapon. It's more like a multi-purpose tool, which is the wrench, basically. So this wrench is going to help us to get through doors. It's going to help us to activate like terminals for power, to get through and to get power. And we can now pick it up. It's the maintenance jack. That's it. Wrench, jack, same thing. So we're just going to pry this maintenance jack off a dead, lifeless body. Isn't that just what you want to do in your day, right? It's just, hey, there's a dead body there, but a purposeful tool that we need. Hooray. So no worries about stealing from the dead. So now that we got our tool, we're now going to be able to get through that door that was priorly cordoned off. So, but again, it's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as that because we are going to be skipping a cutscene very shortly, and this cutscene is basically Axel wanting us to be friends in a bit of a forced manner. And when I say forced manner, they have a certain weapon against the back of our temples, and it's kind of just like, yeah, we should probably just listen to you temporarily, seeing as you have a bit more of the authoritative power right now. So just to keep everybody safe and ourselves safe and our body safe, we'll listen to you temporarily. I say temporarily with a wink in my eye, so you'll find out why later. Just to our right is 2 people. Actually, it's that way, isn't it? I'm pointing. So there's 2 people over there that Axel's having a conversation with. Now, when we just walk past them, it actually skips our dialogue. So the whole concept of the dialogue that they're having goes a little bit quicker. So all we need to do now is wait for Axel. Now, fun little fact here. There's actually an invisible box around here that you can't progress. Axel's just going to walk through invisible barriers because Axel is based, and it's going to help us to go forward just a little bit more. Nice. So here comes Axel, our good friend Axel. Now, I know that Axel is, well, I'd say temporarily a good friend. So to appreciate Axel extremely, what we're going to do, obviously he has given consent for this as well, is that we're going to go around him and try to stare at his butt before he turns around. Because we're going to be seeing a lot of Axel butts. Because we're going to be going into like a little vents in a moment, and we're going to be training behind Axel. So this is just like the first appearance of looking at Axel booty. I mean, you got to admire it. you got to admire the Axel booty. Now, it's funny that like, every time you go behind him, he always turns around. I always love that. So it's a good little meme. But as we're going through in a moment, hold on, can we run? Okay, so here you can actually technically sometimes get a running motion. For some reason, it likes to think that either like you're stuck in the walking animation, or it just forgets that this area is supposed to be just a walking section and makes you run for no reason. So on Novice as well, I forgot to mention, there is a lot of loot that you can pick up, which is a very, very beneficial part of Novice. With Nightmare, not only is the hard still removed and health is removed, but loot is a lot lesser. So here we can actually start to craft our loot a little bit more. So what we're going to do is make a medkit for later. Actually, you know what? We're going to use it right now. I lied. But no, it's good to kind of like keep your health as like as quite well managed as you can. So if you can do it early, then do it, because it is beneficial down the road. Now, as you just saw there with the navigation, I'm having to press my R1 button to be able to get through it, and then I'm using the the wheel for left and right, and the up and the down D-pad to look up and down. This is kind of like how I managed to basically get to play FPS games quite efficiently with the wheel. Is that we got the forward and the backwards motion on the pedals, up and down on the D-pad for looking, turning up my AC a little bit, and then the left and the right, instead of it being strafing for left and right, it's going to be mouse left and right. It works. I've got the strafe on my L1 and L3 keys, so that does mean I can use the A and the D key quite frequently through, because when we have to do the terminals, what it will have to be is that you have to hold the L left mouse button, the right mouse button, which is these flippers here, and then press the direction of A or D. So that's for those who are wondering about how my inputting is, that's kind of how it is for the meantime. Now, we just picked up a lot of flares there. We currently have 4 flares. That's pretty good, actually. That is pretty good. So any point that we have like downtime, we're going to be trying to craft items as well. Again, inventory management, making sure that we don't have too many loots. I can show you a little bit more in a bit about like why it's important. I mean, we'll probably come across to a point where as we're going to pick up, like, you know, like look at boxes to get some of the loot RNG, we can't actually advance quickly. So right, so we have to hold F to reload the battery, and then we press F once. I think we press F once. Hold on. Oh no, we double press it because I've got there we go. I've got multiple assignments for a single button. This actually is something I forgot to specify as well, is if I press my R3 button once, it'll bring up the tracker that we'll be getting in mission 4. If I double press it, it'll basically press F. If I double press and hold on a second input, that's going to reload the battery. It's very, very handy. By the way, now we can technically, once we get this dialogue, we can actually just turn off our flashlight, because Axel is on the scripted path to go to this little vent here. So it's like this is all scripted. So he doesn't need to see where he's going. He knows exactly where he's going. So we are going to be coming up to our very first speedrun tech, which I'll explain first, but don't forget Axel Booty right there. We are going to be using this flare in order to distract a few humans. Now, these humans are quite like on alert, because I think they realize that, hey, there's bad things afoot. There's new humans here that shouldn't really be here. So to protect ourselves, let's use guns to assert our dominance for in this video game only. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna light a flare, throw it over to the right, so the human's gonna be like, okay, this isn't a human. This is a flare that just appeared out of nowhere. So let's go and explore it. Let's go and figure out why this is here in the first place. So we can do a new speedrun tech as well, which is a minor glitch, which is called crouch hopping. Crouch hopping is basically going to be a case where it will allow us to go silently, but not completely silent. So because it's not completely silent, it means that it is a minor glitch. So let's do that right now. Here we go. Activate the flare. Throw it. Then start crouch hopping. Now you can see that they're all turning towards the flare instead of looking at us. If they heard us, they'll be looking directly at us, and that's not a good time. Now, because we're a novice, they're not as they don't realize things as obviously. So we're going to be introducing a new speedrun tech there as well, which is sprint bursting. Sprint bursting, if you tap the sprint as you're just walking in a single direction, means that you'll be able to get like just a little bit of a burst in your step, which is an actor going faster as well. But that sprint burst is actually silent, so you know you're not running silently, but you're getting just a little bit of like a burst, if you know what I mean. So again, minor glitch tech, minor glitch. So we also just did a thing there, which is going to be the axle warp. Basically, if you were to go go to the door, then go back to see Axel coming through, then go back to the door again, it'll hit all these little like different little checkpoints, like, you know, little checkpoints thinking of like, hey, Axel's already around over there, because as it should be, right? As it should be. So that way, instead of like him like slowly walking all the way around, he's already at the door and he's there, ready. Oh, by the way, there's humans over here. This human's not there anymore. So, you know, don't mess with Axel, because you'll get the Waxel. I don't know. My brain can't joke today. Oh, Axel does this sometimes as well, that he just pushes us for no reason. It's a bit of a time loss. But, you know Axel, you know the person that we just hear right now. Can we get an F for Axel, please? Can we get an F in the chat for Axel? Because Axel's dead. Just straight up ripped. And the reason for that is we just had a bit of an instance with a xenomorph. We just had a bit of an instance with the xenomorph. So, bye. Yeah. So now we realize that there is a bit of a much worse situation on board, which is a case of you know, non-human beings ready to attack us at any kind of point. So now it's kind of like making us more nervous, which is why you can hear our heartbeat like really fast, because again, we just incurred like a very scary situation of a xenomorph killing somebody in front of us. So we're just like very nervous, but we're going to be making our way over into mission 3 very shortly, which is the case of us getting a new device, which is going to help us actually hack doors open. It's kind of good. By the way, stay hydrated.
Oh, you just reminded me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Right, so we've got time for like maybe a quick plug. Or if you have any donations or plugs, then that'll be a good time.
We don't have any new donations, but I could talk about one of the upcoming milestones, which is the Mega Man 2 randomizer.
Ooh.
With hidden stage names. We're currently 78% of the way there at $5,855 out of the total goal of $7,500. So if you guys want to see that randomizer, which I totally recommend that you should, because the randomizers are always a fun time. Get your donations in for that. It's a great time.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Right, now that we are in mission 3, we're going to be finding some more humans, because, you know, hopefully we'll find some nice humans instead of somebody like Axel, who was there, you know, to try to, you know, find ways to you know, be his friend through the act of physical violence and guns. But no, seems like this other person here also wants to do the exact same notion of like trying to be our friend through shooting a gun randomly at us. But again, they're stormtroopers. They can't aim, except when you're a nightmare. When you're a nightmare, they can aim. They can aim. So with novice, we can just literally graze by them and then they'll shoot to the wrong way. But we're going to be doing a little strat here, which is to try to garner their attention over towards where we are, turning off the flashlights so they're getting all kind of confused, and emergency override. Now that was probably the best that it could have gone. I took 0 damage, 0 like hits to the body. So that was literally the best that it could have gone. So let's go. Now, if you actually just go and hit that prompt to press E on, you can warp over the chair and get your gun here. And then we're going to get this key card, and then we're going to make our way through. So there we go. So that key card was for this door. So if you didn't have the prompt to open that door, that means you missed the key card. Now, there are a few other boxes around here, but initially we're just going to make our way over to where we're finding, you know what I was talking about earlier, the flight recorder? Oh my goodness me, it's right here. It's right here. This is the flight recorder. So Everything's good. Game's over. We managed to find the location of our mother. Oh, okay. No data. What? Files are corrupted. There's no data. So that storyline, that story arc of trying to get information, it's a little bit postponed for now. So unfortunately, it's not as easy as just finding the flight recorder and things will be fine. No. There's got to be somewhere upon Sevastopol's like the database or like his AI that it may be somewhere. Then it may be somewhere. But again, sadly, no dice right now. So we're going to be doing a few things to. Oh, by the way, this is the hacking tool. What I've got to do here. Oh, why did I turn on my flashlights? There we go. To activate the hacker on the wheel is a bit tricky, and I'll explain in a moment after I get these loose here. So what I have to do is I have to hold up D-pads to kind of like realize, oh, you're using a mouse. Oh, gotcha. Once I've done that, then I can use the left and the right wheel to kind of like go around in a circle with the 8 directions of this wheel, and it's all good to go. So here we go. Right. Basically, it's just a case of matching the prompts to the thing, and we're going to try to turn off the security system because the security system is blaring right now. We don't want anybody to know where we are. Uh-oh, but yeah, that's a problem. Oh, that's a spicy problem. That's a spicy problem. That's a xenomorph, by the way. The first real presence of a xenomorph. A very close presence of the xenomorph, where the tail just randomly goes underneath our leg somehow. I don't know how, like, you know, that works because it looks like he just went through our leg, but somehow it went underneath. But anyway, I digress. So we got to be very, very careful. Very, 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 very careful to not make too much noise around the xenomorph, which is where we'll be bringing in that tech of the crouch hopping actually very shortly. So we want to get out of this area. Now that we've turned off the security system and we've got a upgraded hacker, which is basically what we did from the first thing that we got, which was like the hacking device, but it didn't have a data cell. Now in that little information area, we got a data cell upgrade, which means that we can hack level 1 doors. So that door that's just over there is a level 1 door. Now, there's a lot of violence going on, so we're just going to casually navigate around this way. So we're going to be crouch hopping over here for just a little bit. Stopping here. Keep an eye out on your directional audio. Okay, you're going that way. I was very confused. I was like, which direction are you going? So there's like a few things that could happen, but I don't know. So we're all fine. We did mission 3. We're all Gucci. We're all into the next area. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so we're going into mission 4 right now, which is going pretty well. Now, you can actually hold forwards and run during the transition from the opacity phase, so that way you can actually start running before the game is fully loaded in visually, basically. So it works out. It works out quite neatly. So we're now going to be getting the next item upgrade, which is the tracker, which we will use once and once only, and that's to get out of the tutorial prompt of how to use it. So literally, grab it. It looks pretty cool. It'll track the xenomorphs, but we don't care. Boom. And get the items. And we're going to be pressing up and E. Opening the door and then casually making our way through. Now, you see that little guide over there? He's called, you know, just your average Joe, basically. Your friendly neighborhood Joe. Not your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Joe, who isn't quite friendly in periodic times, and we'll explain a little bit, actually, literally very shortly. Here's a new hack minigame. There we go. So, This one is basically just line up the line to the point of where you can actually enter it, and that's pretty much good to go. That's literally as easy, but like for the very first prompt, you kind of have to like get a very quick essence of where that like block is, so you can press A quickly, so they can probably do it like in a really like quick one cycle. By the way, here's Mr. Hughes over there. And the androids are kind of like, you know what? You're being hysterical. I will help you out, and by helping out means destroy. So, Mr. Hughes, can we get a F in a chat very shortly for Mr. Hughes? And Mr. Hughes is dead. Bye bye.
Rip.
07 in the chat. F07. Oh boy. So yeah, so that's like the only other time that Mr. Hughes will be gracing, like you know, showing face, is by not having a face thereafter, because the androids are very mean. So what's basically happening right now is oh god, there's a whole that's a very good point. If you got too much scrap, you won't be able to press R on the menu, and you basically have to back out by pressing Q. So the long and the short story is that the AI of Sebastopol, which is called Apollo, basically is being controlled by an outside source, which I believe is Seegson's. I mean, you can correct my knowledge on this, but they're basically saying, you know what, don't worry about the humans, don't worry about any other life forms apart from the xenomorph, because we're going to try to contain it, and we're going to try to benefit out of it, like financially benefit out of this xenomorph, and we can do more studies on it, but no other life really matters apart from the xenomorph itself. So basically all the androids, the Joes, have been kind of reprogrammed into getting rid of us, because apparently we're the problem now, not the xenomorph, we're the problem. So that's why we got to be careful around the androids, because the androids can also wreck our day, which is not a good time. Now, this is a fun little bit. If you press E on the back of there, essentially you just skipped doing a free puzzle input. It's because of the distance between where the android is that we're going to be crossing in a second compared to where we are. You'll think that all the puzzles are done, and then it just gives us a prompt on the back of that monitor stuff. I don't know why it happens, but you know, if we can go fast, let's just go fast. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Shoot here, in hoping that we can bring this android a little bit closer towards us. Okay, that was close. Please don't enter. Okay, good. So let me reload my gun quickly. So what we just had to do there is that we shot the android in the chest. To do that, it basically stuns the android for 10 seconds. Not just one android. All androids are going to then be put into that little, like, animation cooldown of being trying to grab us. I think it's 10 seconds. So that we can kind of, like, go past a lot of them in a space of time. Grab that, please. Thank you. And that way, you know, we won't have to worry about getting grabbed. There's a very prominent part of that in, I think, mission 12, where, like, it will shoot one android, and then we can just get past a lot of them, so it's very, very handy. Now, it's obviously been more than 10 seconds, so we've got to do the same thing. You don't have to get it, like, right up onto the chest, but you can do it from a bit of a distance there anyway. So we're going to do the Texas two-step, which is basically pretending to go right, so the android will go right. And then we just go immediately left. I don't know why I call it the Texas two-step. I just like that. I just like that wording. So now that we've done that, we've activated the prompts. We actually skipped a cutscene, which basically we figured out that Samuels and Taylor are on board of Sebastopol as well. However, Taylor is badly injured, so we got to try to get over to them in lieu of trying to help Taylor out just a little bit more. Now, here's the thing that we got to do. We're going to go into the middle. We're going to start sprint bursting very, very shortly. The reason for it is that because the xenomorph is technically active in this area, which you can hear from the little bits up in the top. And then once we get to about here, within that space of time, the xenomorph will have, like, diverted somewhere else, so that we can then proceed to run the rest of the way, and the xenomorph won't be coming over to us. Again, this is Novice. On Nightmare, it's not really the most advisable thing, but I think you can pretty much do the same thing, but just err on the safe side. Right. We've got a little bit of downtime coming up very shortly, so would we like to do any plugs or anything? Not sure if Darkened Rose is here or not.
Oh no, sorry, I actually was muted. I was talking the whole time. Oh god.
You're fine, buddy, you're fine.
No, not really. Other than wow, what a run! Like I want to try to like give like input here and there, but oh my gosh, this is just too mesmerizing to watch.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we can get back into the commentary because we're in mission 5 already. Mission 4. Mission 4. Mission 4. Mission 5. I'm looking at my live split for confirmation. Right, so Taylor was just over there. Bye, Taylor! Because we're decent human beings and we see our friend dying on the floor, we're just gonna run by. Because we care about the health of our friend and we're gonna get the med kit immediately. So that's basically what we've done. It's like, you know, we don't even need to know that Taylor is like, you know, kind of like, you know, injured and stuff like that. We're just like, right, power through, let's get the thing. We're like superhuman strength of getting our way over to the med kits. But it's just not as easy as just getting the med kit because when it's a game, that's a scary sort of like thriller game, ever going to be easy as just being able to get the thing, am I right? So, as mentioned about this run kind of prior, this game is basically rerouting to Electric Boogaloo, the game. Because, you know, just going through the normal door is not, is easy enough that it doesn't want to be easy enough. So, what we're doing right now, as you can tell, is that we have to take another route to get to where we need to go. And that's through the lovely course of the vents. The vents are... we've invented the next routing of this game. I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke. Anyway, so we've now kind of like circled around, and that's the door that we want to get through just now because we're going to be meeting a new friend, which you could hear on the intercom a little bit, going by the name of Mr. Coolman. He's not really cool. He's a bit of a hothead, so you know, we still have to deal with him for the temporary periods of time. Now we are going to inventory manage it a little bit, so we've got too many ethanol right now. That's absolutely fine. So if we do pick up any ethanol, we won't be able to actually physically pick it up, but if we can somehow use it later on with some other weapons like the pipe bomb, or I think it might be pipe bomb, the pipe bomb or the Molotov, then we can start using those a little bit easier. Right, now that we've got the prompt from Mr. Coolman basically saying, you help me, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. We're going to go over into this whole area, which is basically Xenomorph infestated. And we're going to go over to the senior consultant area. Hack. There we go. And we're going to be activating the next prompts here. Like the computer, we're going to be pressing down E, Q, Q. There we go. So what that is that is going to give us a code. This code is 1702, and we can open up the next door with it. We just did a animation cancel there, which was basically pressing the aim button on your weapon. Damn. All right, that's slow. Yeah. Essentially, you want to do that fast because if you do it too slow, then the patterns might be a bit misaligned. If they're very misaligned, then I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble because I haven't saved in a while, so we'll see what happens. It'll bring us to like the very beginning of the mission. So hopefully everything's fine. Don't forget this. We need to pick up this pipe bomb blueprint just there because that's the only one that we're going to be able to get. So hopefully everything's fine. I mean, we'll find out one way or the other. I'm listening out, just in case. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We're Gucci. Because, like I say, if we were too slow, the Xenomorph would be like just running at us from like the whole way that we went, and that means we'd have to do mission 5 all over again. So that's a good time. Not really. Can you tell from my fluctuation of voice that I didn't appreciate my active inputting? There's an ethanol, so that was a very good point there. He saw that I couldn't actually pick up the ethanol, so if we have too much loot of it, then we can't pick it up, and it's basically just a bit of a time loss. So, time to open up this lever. Now, during this area here, as I mentioned, the sprint bursting is still technically silent, but not completely silent, so we can actually get that little bit of an extra boost in our step. So, once Axel kind of like gets into the animation of like inputting, we're then going to go over to this elevator, put in the key card that we got from Coolman, which is a Dr. Morley key card, and now we're going to go towards the medical facility. Whew. Whew, I'm talking a lot right now. Okay, so we can run this little section here. We can run this little section here, but we have to be stealthy from here on out. So, as mentioned, we're going to try and get the medical kit for Taylor, or as it's known in this game as the trauma kit. So, I'm going to be needing a tiny bit of focus right now because this bit can go horribly wrong. So let's go. Here we go. Essentially, we're going to be sprint bursting the way to get through it just a little bit quicker. Getting these little coolants. Switching over to our flare in a moment, and we're going to be using 2 flares in order to distract the xenomorph so that we can go fast. Okay. Activate the flare now. Throw it over there. Activate another flare. Alright, so I'll talk about why I did that in a second. Good. Getting our revolver. Alright. Whew. And as soon as we get through this, shoot. Alright, so the reason that we did that second flare, but then threw our wrench directly afterwards, or the maintenance jack, is that it'll basically drop our flare. And that way, it'll use a flare, but it'll just drop it so that we don't have to throw it. Now, with the course of that, it's going to look at the light of the redness, and it's going to look at the second the second flare afterwards, and still be in a bit of a stun animation for a while. Be like, duh, what is this? If you know what I mean. So we could then run this whole area without any kind of worry of the xenomorph. And now we're going to be going into here by pressing E down E. And then backing out immediately. The code is 2505. There we go. This bit can still go wrong. This bit can still heavily go wrong, no matter if you got the patterns right. If the xenomorph decides to break out of that little animation of just looking at the flare, then we'll see what happens. I heard a single beep. All right, we're fine. We're fine. So here's the trauma kits. And we managed to get rid of the humans here as well. Normally there's 3 humans right here, but if you do a stun baton charge, let's go. Okay, getting a second stun baton charge right now is very, very good actually, so I'm excited. By the way, as an aforementioned to everybody here in the chat who is watching this run, get your hypest dance emotes ready. Get your hypest dance emotes ready because we're about to go semi-fast, but with a bit of a twist. With a bit of a twist. Now, my community will know what I'm talking about, but I want to see you guys get yourself ready for this, okay? Because this is going to be fun and a bun. So, now that we've activated both sides, it's going to bring power to this little area over here. We're going to be activating the security bits by hacking it. Here we go. We're going to try to build a Molotov as well, just before we go. All right. And hype emotes now. So there's that. There's that. So there we go.
Amazing party.
Was that sorry?
That was an amazing party.
It's so much fun because like essentially we gotta go fast, right? We gotta go fast of some variety. So why not have some gotta go fast music? It's Sonic R after all. Can you feel the sunshine? Because this area is billowing up in flames. So we've got to do the thing, which is getting out of dodge. Now, casual people who play this game for the very first time will probably take a lot of deaths here. And for the very classic reason of looking up in a video game. We don't normally get to look up in video games. So in that notion as well, I took a lot of deaths when I first played this. It's because like, oh, there's a ladder going up. No wonder there's a ladder on the floor, kind of like, highlighting that, something broke off, that we should probably go in a ladder. Who knew, right? Who knew? So that's basically what's going on there. So I took far too many deaths than I should probably admit for that, just that little bit there, because it's so bad. But now that we've gotten up and out of the way again, we're classically rerouting, and we're going to be doing a new thing, which is we're going to be getting a compression cylinder for this this next elevator that we're going to be getting to, because again, the normal route of where we need to go is broken. So if we manage to get the compression cylinder, then we can actually get out of dodge a little bit easier. Now, here comes the next problem, which I'll probably take a safety save for very, very soon. I actually will be taking a safety save. We did get one blasting cap, though, which actually does help our case a little bit. We need to have a Molotov crafted. Now, if we don't have a Molotov crafted, then it can be a little bit risky. A little bit risky. So by having a Molotov ready means that it will probably go just a little bit smoother. So I'm going to look out for a second blasting cap. If we get it, we're crafting a Molotov immediately. Okay, so that's a scrap. We don't need that. Mission 7 is where many runs go to die. So, okay, that's weird. If you don't have like the right loot or the right speed for this section, then it could just go horribly wrong. It could go horribly wrong. So we are going to be getting a blasting cap just before the point that we actually do need it, which will mean that we will have enough for a Molotov, but it is still the same case of just like, if we can get to here beforehand with a blasting cap, then that's fine. Now we did get another ethanol, which is kind of cool. All right, so crouch, uncrouch, get the little animation prompts, and I'm just going to keep on sprint bursting for the way all the way up here and running from here. So we've started the process that we want to do. Shoot down here. Shoot just before the door. Sprint burst for a little bit more. And run from here. Hopefully, if that all went well, when we next respawn in the moment, the humans should be right there where we last shot. Hopefully. But again, this is novice. RNG is very, very strange, so we can just try our best. Now, during the wheel runs, I am allowed to go to the keyboard for just this little section here because it's very, very hard otherwise to be able to get all the bindings that we need on the wheel. But just for the point of like save reloading, we are allowed to do that. Now, here's hoping this all goes well. Okay, so that didn't work out how we wanted it because the door wasn't open. So luckily we could take a quick reload and we'll wait for that door to be opened. So this is on the right section, just the door wasn't open. Keep an eye out, keep an ear out even. I think they opened it there. Yes. There we go. So I think I only saw 2 humans. So we've got to bear that in mind very, very shortly. We're going to heal as well very shortly as well. All right, so we're going to be getting the blasting cap in a second, crafting a Molotov, and then getting ready. So here we go. Molotov. Sensor, really? I thought it was the blasting cap all the time. It's a sensor. Oh, God. We'll take this a bit slow then. Oh, yikes. Have we not encountered sensors at all during this run? Oh, this is going to be nerve-wracking. I will heal now then.
Bad RNG, I'm assuming.
Very bad RNG because the xenomorph is right behind us.
Uh-oh.
What is going on over there? Excuse me? All right, let's go. And it just disappears. What?
He missed out on the first party. He wanted to take part.
And then it just evaporates out of existence. I mean, oh yeah, this bit, okay. Oh boy, not how I wanted. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Okay, so let's think about this then, shall we? Let's think about this. Again, as I mentioned, this is where runs go to die, as thusly shown. If we can get all three of them in one place, then that's golden. Okay, so they open the door there, good. And the door's not open. Amazing. Oh, this is gonna be ever so joyful. So this is why our estimate is, you know, fairly kind, because things like this, especially in the marathon setting, could go absolutely inherently wrong. Okay, good. You know what? Die. I feel like there might be too much noise, but we'll find out. We'll find out one way or the other, because we're gonna put one foot in front of the other, put one foot down, down, down. I don't like this. Ah. All right, what else can we do then? Okay, I just heard there's xenomorph there. Ugh. Okay, let's take it easy again. Take it. Be very, very quiet on hunting rabbits. Okay, so what can I do in turn? Let's see. All right, so the human's over there. And down we go. This could work. It's good work. As long as we don't draw too much attention to our placement, then we should be fine. We could save here. That could also work. But it seems fine for now. Yeah, we'll just roll with this. All right, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just roll with it. All right, mission 7's okay. So you guys can see like how various the RNG for mission 7 can go. If the loot doesn't want to be on our side, especially when it comes to the point of, say, getting sensors, which is something I never have an issue with, usually it's blasting caps. So that's kind of surprising that I was literally out on sensors. If you get a good run and RNG's on your favor and the humans want to behave, then you're fine. But apparently, no sensors. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We're making our way through. We're making our way downtown. We're walking past. Faces past, and I'm about a couple of hours from being homebound. I like how I adapted the lyrics there. But anyway, mission 7 is complete. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. Typical M7 is typically out of here. So we're now going into mission 8. Mission 8 is kind of like the prelude for we're going to a point of a flashback, which we'll talk about very, very shortly. We'll talk about very, very shortly. But for the meantime, we're basically bringing back the trauma kits over to Taylor. But we find out that it's not just as easy as that, because when is anything as ever easy as like trying to do the thing that we've been told to do in the first place? We're going to find out that there's actually other humans around me, which is going to be the case of other nicer people, thankfully nicer people upon Sevastopol, which actually kind of want to help us. Kind of. I'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. But they're basically saying, hey, why did you do this for us again now? Because again, it's always us. You know, we are the main character of the game. We have to do everything for everybody else. Because again, it's always this case of you scratch your back, I scratch mine. That's the other way around. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. That's the one. So we're going to be activating the transit control for everybody to get to the point of the Marshal Bureau area. The Colonial Marshal Bureau, that's the one. Oh, we should probably... Sensors. It's always the goddamn sensors. So I can't craft a pipe bomb either. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought that this is going to be the biggest pain? Now, here's where the fun bit happens. We're going to be throwing a flare very shortly. Actually, we're going to do it here. We're going to try new strats. We're going to put the flare there. There's two ways you can do this. Either in front of the elevator or away from the elevator. So we're going to see how this one goes. We're going to see. All right. But the cool thing is that we do have a second stun baton charge, which will come in very, very handy for the forthcoming part afterwards. Right. We're going to crouch for a second. Get a stun baton ready. Wait for a bit. Good. Now we can run by these guys just a little bit quicker. And get this thing that will help us to cut into things. Who knew? Now the android's probably going to be over here. Okay, let's just get rid of that android. Android's always a pain. We got the ethanol, not too shabby, not too shabby. And now we're going to cut this, use the gas torch. That's what the thing of this is called. There's 3 stages of the torch in order to be able to actually cut through these panels a little bit easier. We're going to get the, I think it's the plasma torch and then the ion torch. I think the ion torch is the best one. But we got the gas torch, which takes a little bit longer. But there is another strats that you can do, especially on Nightmare, which is the case of you're kind of avoiding the androids during the most part of it so that you can actually take the brunt of the damage here instead of having to, you know, to whack the android. So that way we could then heal up a little bit afterwards and it's basically faster. But I forget how to do that strat, so we went for a bit more of a calmer strat. Now I should probably heal up in a moment. I should actually probably heal up in a moment. I know my luck. I've been at this kind of health last time when I thought I was okay, and then I took a few gunshots to the face and I died. So we'll do a fun little thing in a second. On Nightmare, you would shoot the stairs so that the humans aren't going to be too much of a hassle. However, seeing as like we're on Novice, we can actually we could get some more loot from the humans very shortly. And to do that, what we're going to do, so again, we're not going to shoot the stairs, but we're going to go over to the right and back around here temporarily. Get this loot here. All right, so let's quickly use a med kit. Now, depending on the placement of where the android, the human's going to come through in a second, if the human comes through here, then this is going to be perfect. If not... Yep, okay. Here we go. Oh. That's fine. That's fine. So, wasn't the best, but we'll take it. We'll take it, that's fine. Yep. Alright, so that loot was terrible. They literally had the same thing, which we've already got too much of. So that looting was pretty garbage, actually. Pretty damn garbage. So we're gonna have to hope for good loot in mission 10 to be able to get some sensors. I mean, we'll double check if we've got any sensors in the forthcoming section, because for mission 10 we are going to be needing a pipe bomb. We are going to be needing a pipe bomb, but I guess we'll see, right? Might as well heal up fully here. Let's see if I can craft anything now. Pipe bomb. Nope, we're completely out of sensors. What is this RNG right now? Really? I can't. I don't think I've ever been up to mission, like nearly mission 9 without any sensors. So Novice is being very, very kind to me. But let me kind of run down what's about to happen. So we now finally got the transit system open and active. So we're going to go over to the Colonial Marshal Bureau. We're going to be informed by Marshal Waits that they've kept somebody aboard for quite a long time. And they may be the cause as to why there are xenomorphs on here in the first place. So we're going to strike a bit of a deal with I think their name is Marlowe. Wait, hold on. We got one sensor. I can't believe this. Just the one sensor though. All right, we're one more step towards crafting a pipe bomb. Oh my God. Hopefully there's another sensor around. I really do hope so. Otherwise, when we come into mission 10, then we might be okay. Maybe. Right, so yeah, so essentially, I might get this wrong, but I think there are a few other runners here who do know a tiny bit more lore than me. But I believe Marlowe here was on the same expedition as our mother as well. Yeah, as you can see what Amanda's saying, my mother was on a Stroner when it went missing 15 years ago. So basically, because we have that kind of like that history that between us because of our parental figure, Marlo's going to say, okay, if you get me out of here because your mother was Ellen Ripley, I'll strike a deal and I'll let you know all of the things. Basically, I'll basically tell you, provided that you tell me well, then you can get me out of here. So this is what we're going to be doing right now, which is going into mission 9, which is a complete flashback to Marlowe's perspective of what actually happened in that series of events. So we're going to be going to explore this like a beacon signal, which we don't know what the beacon signal is, but we kind of like we're just going through space. We're just like, oh boy, what's that thing that's kind of appearing on our screens that seems kind of influentially interesting that we should go and explore? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to go and explore. And we're going to be this is basically just like a lore fest. So if you guys like the alien lore, this mission here is like prime real estate for you guys right now. Me on the other hand, it's been a while since I've watched Aliens, so it kind of flies over a little bit in my head, but I'm going to try to tell you as much as I can from what my brain will remember. So we're going to be trying to, as per usual, reroute ourselves. So it's now reroute free, electric P. Anyway, I was trying to think electric boogaloo, it doesn't matter. But we're going to be heisted up by another guy called Heist, which is kind of funny that his name is Heist. But yeah, Heist is going to give us a heist so we can go around the way, trying to blow up some rocks so that we can actually allow our friends to go through as well, because, you know, they're unable to be heisted either, and we're the only ones who can be heisted. We're going to be coming across another vessel very shortly, which is another sort of like an alien craft. I forget what the name, the Derelict. I think it's called the Derelict. Possibly.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. So like, it's a really lovely, beautiful scene of like, you know, the visual of us looking onto the Derelicts, and then it's going to take us into another transition for which we're going to be exploring the Derelicts, and there we go. So we've got a good bit of downtime right now. So Dark and Rose, feel free to just like to say a few things if there's any donations, if there are any plugs. We've got about maybe like 3 to 5 minutes at the moment.
All right, that can actually catch me up on what donations came in, because I didn't realize it, but my donation tracker wasn't working for a second, so I missed out on some donations. But I'll read them right now for you all. We got $5.69 from Balglore. The very best of luck with the run, and give Steve my regards. We also got Elodie with $54.03. Thank you so much, Elodie, for the donation. Bacon at $21.80, $20 just for the googly eyes. Which those googly eyes are the best.
I will give you a bit of a lore, like the birth and the history of Pal Dizzy very, very shortly. So after the donations are done, I'll talk about Pal Dizzy. Why not?
All right. Well, actually, speaking of that, we have $21.80 from Seki. Your steering wheel seems very friendly. What's its name? I love aliens so much. Thanks for doing this run.
Thank you so much for the donations. Any more?
We got one more. It's another $21.80 donation from Hyperwork. I guess it's time for noodles again, Nico. Just in time. Good luck with the run.
Hyperwork, come on, man. Oh, thank you all so much for the donations as well. Extremely, extremely kind of you. By the way, loud sound warning, but I'm sure like you know, the sound's a little bit quieter for you guys as well. But essentially, pipe bomb go boom in a second. 3, 2, 1, boom! Headshots. Where were we? So this is Pal Dizzy. Pal Dizzy is a best friend of mine. It just so happens that Pal Dizzy used to have like quite smaller eyes at one point, but we got to celebrate his first birthday about like, I think it was like May or June last year. I need to double check. I'm terrible with birthdays, by the way, so don't quote me on that. But we got to celebrate Pal Dizzy's birthday last year, and because Pal Dizzy was so surprised of like the events that transpired, and it was just in a permanent state of shock, Pal Dizzy's eyes grew 3 times the size, and as like I say, permanent state of shock, eyes are just huge and massive. It's yeah. Pal Dizzy's just in a permanent state of shock. So that's basically the lore of Pal Dizzy, and with Pal Dizzy, I've been able to speedrun games like Outlast 80% on the steering wheel, Jazzpunk, from some pretty interesting forthcoming games is all I can say. What else have I done that's kind of wild? I'm going to be checking up my speedrun.com profile for this kind of knowledge. By the way, as mentioned as well, whilst we're in the transition bit, we can press forwards now, and we can actually get in front of these humans here. So it's very handy that we got full access to the keyboard and mouse basically during the transitions. What else have I done? I've done Sweet 776 on a steering wheel. I've done Silent Hill on a steering wheel. I've done Resident Evil 7 on a steering wheel. Silent Hill 4 on a steering wheel. Resident Evil 2 on a steering wheel. And that's about it. So memes. And I think the coolest thing that I did recently was so there's a controller called the Ultra Racer 64, which was basically a controller used for like racing games or something like I was gonna say jetpack game. Jet ski game that I'm thinking of on the Nintendo 64. Is it Wave Race 64?
Yeah, I think it's Wave Race that you're talking about.
Performing the backwards long jump in Super Mario 64 and the Ultra Racer 64. So, so for those who don't know, I am an unconventional speedrunner slash streamer. So I find a controller, see if I can make it work. Oh yeah, Undertale on the steering wheel as well, and DK Bongo. So I like memes basically. So getting Pal Dizzy into the forefront of my companionship is it's probably the best thing I could have asked for. Is my baby. Pal Dizzy is my baby. It's gonna be turning 2 this year, by the way. So yeah, Pal Dizzy's got a birthday coming up, don't you, buddy? Right. So we're in the derelict, by the way. Sorry, I kind of went on a big tangent there for a second. This is inside the derelict, and we're gonna try to figure out where this beacon signal is coming from, because it's definitely in this spaceship, definitely in here. So we're still going to be using the tracker, which we've not used once in the game. The only reason that we use these tracker devices is to get rid of it. But because we speedrun the game, we know exactly where we need to go, which is just over there. And we're going to get heisted by Heist again. And we're going to be able to see this beacon signal, and we're going to touch it, and then it's just going to stop dead, basically. So the beacon signal is going to like die out. And whilst that's all going on at the same time, the other humans in a part of our expedition are going to try to explore the rest of the derelict, which is kind of opening up like a little bit over here-ish to be able to get underneath it. And we're going to uncover something very interesting very shortly. Not going to spoil it yet. For those who've not seen the game, not going to spoil it just yet, but it's interesting. All right, just getting my AC up just a little bit more. Now, we're waiting for Heist to come over. Now, this is where the fun things can happen sometimes. It's because it's all about how quick the dialogue is going and how fast Axel was... not Axel, sorry, Memories of Axel. How fast Heist is walking. Heist can, like, literally get to the end. That was perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So, basically, it's like... the dialogue finished like very close to the point where he would have reached his kind of like his max point and probably turned around. So he was able to get to this point here just like perfectly on time. So I think that's actually technically a time save for this mission. And like I say, if he backs around, then he's got to turn around and then walk back to us. So again, we could actually lose time just at this little section here, which is kind of funny, really. I remember one time I somehow managed to lose like 10 seconds into mission 9. I'm just like, how? And I realized it was because Heist was being a poopy, basically. All right, so this is a cool little visual here. Seeing like, you know, the pulses from this little beacon here. It's just like, God, it looks so cool. God, it looks so cool. So we're gonna put our hand into this thing, which is apparently like, you know, liquid somehow. So we're going to touch it, then boom. And that turns it off. It still doesn't make sense to me. Like, it still doesn't really make too much sense to me as to how that realistically works in this how I don't know, but you know, by touching it, it just goes boop. So there we go. Right, now we're gonna go back towards our friends and to kind of like to see how the progression of like exploring the rest of the derelict is, and you'll see that they've kind of set up a winch as meant. Like I say, they're trying to go down, and to go down they're going to be setting up a winch so that they can be kind of like carried down by a line. And this is sometimes where I actually mess up a tiny bit, and the reason for it is that like, if you crouch before you press the E button, you will go slower coming out of it because it takes a little bit of time to be able to actually uncrouch. But the problem with it is that because my crouch button is assigned to my D-pad right, and because I'm on a mesh D-pad, it's very easy to accidentally do it. So you just sort of prompt there. So I'm just going to go around to the side and make sure I don't hit the crouch button. So we're all good, we're Gucci. And now we're going to be winched all the way down. And this is the surprise I was telling you about. This is the forthcoming surprise. So, down we go. Just play some classic music in the background, if you know what I mean. So, all right. Here is a surprise. Surprise! It's oh. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a little bit of a problem. It's alien eggs. Happy birthday! Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Some alien eggs. Cool. So, problem. All right. You know what? Normally I don't show this cutscene too much, but I love to show it off. It's only a tiny, like, until little time loss, but I love watching this cutscene here. It's like, okay, the eggs just opened. What? Well, I wonder if I touch it, and then couple of things to debunk from that. That is the first time that we'll be introduced to the facehuggers. The facehuggers are that's nasty, basically. That's nasty. However, you also got to hear the acid sounds from that situation as well. So basically, as if you guys don't know too much, the facehugger can spit out some pretty nasty acid, and that acid can actually harm us humans, believe it or not. We have to be careful when we're actually killing the facehuggers so that we don't actually are within the radius of where the acid will kind of spurt out of the facehugger. Otherwise, we'll take some damage, which is not nice times. There's a sensor. Are you telling me that we got enough sensors now? Thank you, Door. Thanks, Door. Very cool. All right, so we're going to be getting this flamethrower, which is like the thing that has been locked away for the most period of time. And they're kind of just like, you know, if you actually are to use the flamethrower, it may actually help you out with your case with the xenomorph. So we're just assuming that it all goes well. All right, so Marshall Waits is going to come over to here and unlock the door for us. Right now, it's time to finally craft the pipe bomb. Thank goodness for that. And Molotov as well, just in case. All right. So, yeah, exactly. Kill it with fire. Kill it with fire. What was I going to say next? Okay, so yeah, mission 10 is where runs also go to die as well, just as a huge FYI, is where runs go to immediately die. Mission 7, mission 10, mission 14 are very, very sort of like critical runs that you want to make sure that you operate as best as you can. So from here on out, I think it's time to just like, you know, get ourselves prepped and ready, because this is not going to be a nice time. I say this is not going to be a nice time, but it is going to be a nice time. But I'm always worried because with Novice, you can never predict how the run's going to go. You can never predict. You can always just hope for the best, but Novice RNG makes it is the best way to say it. Just say so. I'm gonna need some blessings in the chat very shortly from you guys because, oh god, I'm not excited about this. I mean, I'm excited, but not excited because this could go horribly wrong. I'm gonna. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I have no idea. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't hit the side. Don't hit the side. Probably best not to. Right. Breathe and focus. Gonna make some. Another pipe bomb. Let's go. Okay. We're going off to craft another pipe bomb. That's absolutely fine. Molotov. We'll start crafting another one as well. All right. So, I don't know the best strategies for this. I don't know the best strategies. So, what I'm going to do temporarily first is I'm going to sprint burst all the way up. And then I'm going to start running at a very, very critical point, which is about right now. Because the Xenomorph is around in that area. But you want to make sure that, like, that when you get out of that certain point, that you can just run from there on out. I'm going to loot this guy as well, just in case. I didn't loot it. I just backed out, so I didn't pick up any loot there. I'm an idiot. Right. Here's where the run can die. Here's where the run could go horribly wrong. So I'm going to be safety saving a lot throughout this area. If we hear, like, any kind of venting, we need to hit the Xenomorph with flame bursts 3 times, like short bursts. And I already heard some movement, so... Ew, okay. Making too much noise. We'll save to save after this. All right. All right. We don't need to reload right now. We're just going to carry on our wayward son because there will be peace when you're done. And now I have to be silent. Because again, this could go horribly wrong. There we go. We heard it. That little beep of the tracker to indicate that there may be some presence of the Xenomorph. Told ya! Told ya! Told ya! I knew it! 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 Xenomorph likes to play about around this whole mission. They probably should work. There probably is a way to make this more convenient. All right, bye. God, I did not know where the Xenomorph was going there. If it was going to go in front or behind. Yeah. All right. Now, there was a little bit of an item just around over here, so we don't need to grab that. That's fine. No, it's not. I'll just go. You know what? I'll just go. That's fine. I'll just carry on. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Oh. God, my wheel's acting up a little bit there. For some reason, like a double input for no reason, so I gotta be careful. All right, so Xenomorph isn't a worry anymore for now. But we'll be a worry in about a minute. So we're gonna continue to get. We're gonna get that little thing over there. That blueprint. We're gonna make our way through into the server area. Xenomorph is active again. So carefully does it. Excuse me, I burped. Okay, dropped on the other side. Quickly. Okay, that was weird. All right, cool. That's fine. We made it, but like at what cost? That was interesting. So usually when we open up that door, the Xenomorph will vent back up. But it vented up so quickly that when I turned around, it was in its venting animation. So I guess we got away with that. So that's absolutely fine. No problem. Cool. As you can tell, I'm very nervous about this bit because I hate Mission 10 very much. With an absolute passion. So here we go. All right. Absolutely, Nana 5 for the kids. For the kids. For le Petit Noir. Rois, sorry. Alright, so now, can I craft anything from here? Pipe bomb. We could probably start crafting another pipe bomb. Medkit? Yes, absolutely. Noisemaker for later, yep. We need some more sensors, okay. Nothing we could do right now. Alright. We're good to go. We got 2 pipe bombs. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. We have got a Molotov ready, but we want to stack it up for later. Right, I'm not going to save here. We're just going to go all the way out, and hopefully this should work out just fine. Once we've done this section, then we can breathe for a little bit, because I haven't really safety saved. I just kind of realized I kind of done this without safety saves. Oops. We only done 1, but it's way back, so... Listening out for Xenomorph. Alright, we're golden. If your Xenomorph wants to drop behind there, then that'll be a little bit of a problem, but we can just make our way through here. And that's this area done. So we can breathe now for a little bit. Deep breath. Whew.
In and out, in and out.
Yeah, because that section is spicy. It's very, very spicy. Now, this area here is also very spicy, but not as spicy as the past area. So, again, as usual, keep on looting around, and like if there's any other loot that could be beneficial, then do grab. We need to be fast again, because this is all kind of like on timed patterns, basically. With the very case of like, we want to make sure that this dialogue is still running up to around here. Whilst the dialogue is still going, then we won't get like the Xenomorph to drop whilst the dialogue's going, really. Or not as frequently, so we can get to this little point here to with the new upgraded torch. I think with this one is the plasma torch, or was it iron torch? I can't remember. You can see now that we're cutting the panels a little bit quicker, so each upgrade means that it goes super, super quick. We have to be careful here. Wait for the android to cross this red line, and then we can go. Because if there's Android is too close to the PC and it sees you using the PC, it's kind of like, oi, that's my PC, you're gonna die. I know it's a weird relationship with PCs and stuff like that. Just like you know, when you're trying to beat a boss and you're being called down for food and stuff like that. So similar situation. Right, novice here is terrible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run to this little prompt here. Wait, flame burst 3 times, reset the breaker, and now it's on a panda. I don't know. So at least we can run through that area a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm gonna pay attention for a little bit, because again, this pan here is a it's not really the best pattern, but it'll do. Where? Okay. Don't turn your back to the Xenomorph. If you turn your back to the Xenomorph, that'll be an instant KO. But if you're a novice and you're in front of it, it'll just knock you down, provided that you've actually flamed it a little bit. On Nightmare, it's instant. Okay. What? Okay, that was weird. Like, none of my shots actually landed on the Xenomorph. That was weird. Yeah, all right, then. Now, we're going to be using one of our pipe bombs that we crafted earlier on very, very shortly. So, it's all been for this moment. Crouch hop for just a tiny section. Okay, I don't like that. Getting our flamethrower cause I'm scared, because it's not supposed to be here quite just yet. I don't know why I'm singing, but I'm singing anyway because I'm kind of scared now and then a bit. Okay. That's exactly what I was talking about. Exactly what I was talking about. Pipe bomb. Throw. All right, we're fine. It should not have worked like that, but we're fine. We're fine. It's not over just yet. Okay, right behind me. And we're golden. Oh. Okay.
There, that's a moment to exhale for.
Yeah, that's the kind of scariest way that RNG. Whoa, where am I going? Like, the way that RNGs could happen. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. RNG, especially a novice, can go one way or the other. And that one way was to my demise. So everybody loves it. And this is why novice is so much fun, because we can never predict what's going down. The novice RNG is completely unpredictable for the xenomorphs. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're coming up to M11 very shortly. Once we get to the point of M11, then we could take a. I could take a break from talking. And I'll pass it over to Dark and Rose on the amazing hosting word that I'm looking for. Brain go burr. Anyway, the amazing host of Dark and Rose is another way of what I was trying to say, and I keep forgetting to press down because down helps us to go. Okay, when you're on Nightmare, you normally want to shoot in there so that we can like draw more noise, so that we can then upvent the xenomorph at that point, and then the pans will be a little bit more confined. Doesn't quite work in Novice. So the best thing that we can hope for and to do is to just leg it. There we go. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm talking about. That is a case of an instant rip, because even if we were looking at the xenomorph, we had not flamed it in any kind of essence, which means essentially it's a time, you know, you died. However, because this area is like quite like not as long, just a section here, we can still factor in, if we were to die here a few times, we can still factor that into the run. So we were a little bit slow, I won't lie. We were a little bit slow because my brain went burr for a second, and I kept on forgetting to press down on the ladder because, again, you know, you actually need to go a direction on the ladder. Who would have thought? It's not automatic. All right, so let's try. Should we try that again? Shall we try that again, and this time maybe do it better? I think we should. I think we should. All right, so again, as always, it's sprint bursting to make yourself go a little bit faster. And then once you get to the bottom of the ladder, then you're just going to run to the left and hope for the best. Here we go. Keeping an ear out for any kind of bumps in the night from the xenomorph. I heard one beep. I heard a single beep. But that's all right now, actually. I think we're on an all right pattern. I think we're doing okay. Okay, there's another beep. There it is. Where? Okay, the vents. Sure. I will take that. What? There's another. Oh, that was the right amount of flame burst there. Good Lord. All right. Woo. All right, we're not done yet. We're not done yet, though. Whilst that was kind of nice, still not over. This is why Mission 10 is like one of the points of just immediate rippage, basically, because again, especially in Novice, many chances to die. So whew. So far I'm happy with where we're at in Mission 10 just now, even with the death. So I'm gonna run a little bit more. We've only got 266 flame of fuel left, but that's not the worst thing. As long as we're quick with our flame bursts, then we're fine, because we've got some spare left over for later. As I lied, and unfortunately that's a rip, so... Oh. Oops. I forgot about a safety save. Oop. Alright, should we do some plugs and donations for now?
Sure can. All right. For some reason, my donation tracker isn't updating it, so I'll just take the time to plug the charity. Okay. Here we are. We're actually raising money for the Smart Home Project, in which their goal is to continually improve the lives and futures of young people living with intellectual disabilities, with or without autism spectrum disorders. It's in collaboration with world-class specialists and renowned institutions, and with lots of cutting technology involved. We've been able to support them through daily routines and contributing to developing their autonomy, self-determination, and learning capabilities. Uh, I'm actually gonna mention a little bit here. I actually deal with ADHD, which is a learning disability, and it's something that varies with a lot of people. It varies depending on the person, and it's good to see people raising money for such a cause.
What the really? Sorry to cut you off, but
oh no, you're right. What just happened?
This area is really not liking me today. Wow.
He just slid around you like Devil May Cry and just executed you.
Look, the Xenomorph is not gonna be Dante, okay?
He's going for style though. You gotta give it to him.
Styly killing me. I don't like it.
What would you rate that out of 10, chat? That was a pretty sick kill. Wasn't really beneficial for us, but
I was gonna say we should be applauding my going fast, not the Xenomorph side of things. Xenomorph bad, not good. God. If this Xenomorph kills me one more time, I'm about to slap it and then go. I'm angry.
I'm
just disappointed in you, Xenomorph. All right, here we go again. Come on.
You can do it.
All right, a couple of rumbles. Okay. I'm a safety save. Oh, Jesus. Where? There. Okay, luckily we just got the knockdown. That's fine. God, this mission 10 went so wrong. Where? Where are you? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. All right, there we go. All right, so we just had it up in there as well, which is absolutely fine. I guess we could take it a little bit slow, but I don't want to go too long in this area because then it may go over estimate, because my PB for steering wheel, no major glitches, I think it's like a, was it like a 240 something? But look at, like with my old splits, it was about just shy of 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 minutes, 3 hours. So we're currently about like, coming up to near 7 minutes over that PB recorded. So I'm trying to think on estimates how fast I can go essentially. But this is fine. It'll take about a minute or two to go from this point, and we can still find ways to catch up. Right, what we're gonna do is wait for the Xenomorph. Okay, we're gonna go over this way. The reason that we're gonna go over this way is we're gonna get some extra loot right now, in the hopes that maybe we can get some more flaming fuel, but if we can't, then it's no stress really. Okay, there's loot in there, good. Won't engage you too much. Okay, nothing in there. Nothing in there, and Nothing in there. Okay, so we got a tiny bit of loot. Only the tiniest bit of loot, but nothing to cry home about. Now, as you can see right now, is that we're kind of spiraling in this. Oh, Jesus. All right, cool. We just did mission 10. All right, it's done. Ah. Okay, so what happened there? Like, let me kind of explain the lore of what happened. Marshal Waste basically sacrificed our lives so that we can get the Xenomorph off of Sevastopol. Not caring about humanity or anything like that. You know, we're the problem as well. Like, we're the problem. So luckily, we managed to get out of the airlock and to get ourselves back onto Sevastopol by once we like ejected ourselves out of the KG-348 by just grabbing onto the edge. So. Can you guys tell I hate Mission 10? Can you guys tell I don't really like Mission 10, especially a novice, because of just how bad it can go? Because imagine like you're about like an hour and a half into the run, and then you have to reset just at this point. Like there's like some really like disadvantaged reset points that could happen like later on as well, whilst you're like 2.5 hours into the run. So sometimes the deaths can be brutal, especially if you're going for like a world record run where you're not allowed. Well, saving is a time loss, essentially. It is a time loss, apart from Mission 7. So, for the rest of the run, you can't really save. So, if you take a death there, that's a rip run for world record pace. But I recently just managed to beat my steering wheel records after like 9 months of off and on grinding. So, this game ain't kind. This game is not kind. So
even normally for regular playthroughs, it's really tough.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think for, like, most people, like, a first playthrough is usually about 20 minutes. No, 20, for God's sake, I keep saying minutes. 20 hours. Just because of, like, all the hiding and all this sort of stuff as well. So, this game's scary when you first play it. It's very, very immersive. All right, so we got a human. We got 3 humans. Jesus Christ. I almost died there.
Oh, my God.
I was taking a lot of shots there, so I'm going to need to heal up very soon. But thankfully, there was no androids there, so we could, because we're on novice as well, we could take the brunt of all those hits. But that was a lot of hits. Jeez. Wow. You know what's funny? It's been a very long time since I've actually encountered 3 humans. Now, if you actually guys, if you lot do a replay of that little section there, you'll see the lady on the right levitating as she's sitting down. Honestly, go back in the VODs. Go back in the VODs for just that little section there. You'll see like the human is just kind of like just casually sitting and floating in the air because video game logic. Am I right? So it's like I say, it's been a while since I've seen that little animation. I kind of just mentally clocked onto it after I took all the shots there. So that's a fun little tidbit because that section there, you can either have nothing. You can have 1 android. You can have 2 androids. You can have 1 android and 2 humans. You can have 2 androids and 1 human. You can have 3 humans and 1 android, or just 3 humans. So we got the nice choice of 3 humans and just took the brunt of the damage. So I forgot to heal. I'm going to heal right now because we are going to be using the flamethrower in a moment. Flamethrower, sorry, excuse me. Speaking of flamethrower, there's some fuel there, so perfect. Right, medkit get the flamethrower ready. Down into the vent we go. Right, here comes a bit of a novice strat. Now, again, we're trying to like now try to connect with not Marshal Waits, obviously, but somebody who was in the same area as Marshal Waits, which I think his name is Ricardo. Ricardo's trying to like aid us to get him back to the Marshal Bureau so we can actually meet up with him and you know, be on his good side. Right, so here comes the novice section. What we're going to do is we're going to be turning on this this little terminal here. We're going to get over to this door and shoot at the ground. I'm going to kill this guy. Then we're going to run. Probably could have gone a little bit better, but that's actually not too bad of a sequence. As long as we get rid of that individual person, then we're fine, because they are the one with the revolver. And the revolver, as you saw just a second ago, can definitely kill if a lot of shots are going at our face. We don't want that. So as long as we kill that guy, then we're absolutely fine. In Nightmare, we like to call that guy the sniper because 1-shot KO is not a nice time. Right. I'm going to get my revolver out here because we're going to... Oh, really? Okay, sometimes when the androids turn around a bit, like, you want to shoot at their bodies, obviously, and you saw that I was trying to shoot, and it just missed their arm because of the way that the body swang around. Now, you can shoot their arm and it'd be fine, but it's still the same case that, like, you know, like, depending on this position, it can go one way or the other. And usually it means that we get grabbed, so not a good time. So is this about 5 seconds time loss? Not the worst thing in the world, but again, in the act of, like, you know, PB runs, like, that 5 seconds time loss is a lot, because the game up until like that point can be I'd say Nightmare especially can be very, very optimized, and getting grabbed, it can literally rip your run. So you don't want to take any deaths, and you don't want to get any grabs. You want to be very, very efficient with your shooting, essentially. And I mean, and especially doing it on the wheel as well, it's not exactly efficient, so I've got to try my best. And we're gonna go right a little bit around that guy. So that little that android that's on the floor actually kind of like a prevalency to the later missions. Now, because their eyes were still red or white on the floor, I think it was white, means that they're still alive, and they have like a radius of where you can actually get grabbed by. So you want to try not to get grabbed, and you want to try to be a bit of a distance away from these androids so that you won't actually get grabbed. And usually it's by the case of, like, looking at them. Even when if you look at them in the radius, then you're fine. But if you're not in the radius, but like if you're turning around and in the radius, then you get grabbed. Right. So from here on out, Ricardo's basically telling us, hey, Marshall Waits went a little bit crazy, a little bit crazy, and has killed everybody else in this area, and is now on his way to basically get revenge, but not really get revenge, but just like more of a case of you know, just not being a nice person, and trying to abide by Seegson's request, which is to keep the alien on board and to have everything else being like, you know, not alive, if you know what I mean. I think that's right. I think I'm wrong, but I don't remember. I think, like I say, I'm just going by what my brain kind of reminds me. So we're gonna try and go to catch up with Waits to actually you know, do things right, do things to be right. But also Samuels is kind of like on a bit of an interesting dynamic as well, because Samuels is going to try to help us in ways, but we think that Samuels has kind of gone rogue a little bit. So there's a whole load of things going on. Like literally, this whole arc of the game is interesting. So we're gonna play Ring Around the Roses with this android that's around here. We don't want to get grabbed by the android. It's health loss. Nobody wants health loss. But we're just gonna play Ring Around the Roses. So as long as we can get into the into this doorway in time, this one here for 03, then we're fine. And now saying all of his classic lines, which I know people love and know and love, which is like, have you asked me about Sevastopol's safety protocols? And my safety protocols is go fast, forehead. Okay, I need to say that in future. That's really funny. Okay, here's another thing as well. If the androids are in this like, you know, in the trams, you won't actually get the prompt to press like E on the bit to go from one area to the other. So if you do press E in the prompts like just fine, then you basically have triggered a cutscene, so it's all good. Right, this area here, we're coming into mission 12 right now. What we're going to be doing in a short moment is we're going to be getting a code from a computer. This code from a computer is then going to be able to open up another door, which is kind of then also cordoned off by a panel. So we're going to need to cut into the panel to get to the door to do the key code. Funny thing is as well, like, you know, remember mission 5 and going through that door on the left, you actually want to go through this way and then go through this door. So they like, this game does use a few of the same maps, like the map quite a lot. Like, you know, it's not like each mission is a completely new area. It does like reuse assets quite a few times. But now we're going to go over to this little bit here to get the key code. And all you literally need to do is start pressing Q immediately, because the first page will have the code, which is 8382, I think. Yeah, 8382. And here's something for those who are wondering in the back. The codes are static. The codes are static, so if you are on PC, you can actually... Okay, that's weird. I get it, don't mind me. So you can actually use the numpad on your keyboard to be able to input those keys a lot quicker. And again, if you are using live split, you want to make sure that you're not using the global hotkeys, otherwise you'll accidentally split and possibly reset the run at the same time as well. So, all depending on your bindings and stuff. But yeah, so that's just an FYI for those who are playing on the PC and you didn't know, just use the numpad. Easy. So from here on out, again, as I keep on mentioning throughout this run, I know it's a very, very sort of like a common topic. Finding alternative routes. But let's see if we can do the Superman glitch. This is a minor glitch that is allowed in the No Major Glitches run. Essentially, if we look up and press E in kind of a good fashion, then it'll actually basically unlock our camera, and then we can do a thing called a Superman, which is basically getting to the vent in a bit quicker time. So we didn't get it because what would happen is that we see like our camera just kind of like go back a little bit more. But because we were kind of like in that like that little animation of looking up and stuff like that as well, that means that we didn't get it. So we just lost 2 seconds of time. It's literally not like nothing to cry home about, but we could have saved 2 seconds if only the game wanted to let us break our camera. So the more you know. Right, we're gonna get our flamethrower out very shortly because there is still an alive android here. So just flame it once, and then you can skedaddle, skedoodle, make your way through. I'm not going to safety save here because this bit is relatively easy to do. Right, so usually there's loot on the floor there, but like, if you got too many, then it's fine. It's most of the time it's scrap, so you know that's fine. That's fine. We can just ignore it. There is some more areas for loot coming up very shortly as well, but here's where the fun bit happens. As soon as you do this prompt here, is going to wake up one of the androids just on the floor. So you need to literally run, get to the next terminal as soon as you can, and then the further one afterwards, which only activates after you've done this terminal. Once you get to the 4th terminal, you are expected to take 1 hit. If you get that 1 hit, then you know you're on the right pattern. There's a 1 punch, then you can just make your way through, and we're Gucci. I'm actually going to swap to my shotgun whilst this vent is going on because there's just enough, like, just a little bit of leeway of time, especially in the wheel, to be able to get to it. Right, so here we go. So Samuels is talking to the androids because, oh, by the way, plot reveal, Samuels is also an android. So Samuels is kind of like, you know, a bit more of an advanced AI that is, you know, more indebted for humans and is obviously not connected to Apollo, which is the AI of Sebastopol. So that way we are, like, Samuels is trying to be on our side in a sense. But we kind of think that Samuels has gone a tiny bit rogue because we're seeing it, like, you know, destroy things. And we're just like, this isn't a Samuels that we once loved and knew. So yeah, we think that Samuels kind of turned bad, but not really. All right, by the way, go to the 3rd line, turn around, kill, get a key card from this body here, then hang to the right a little bit, and then you can get through this door, and then get the key card in here. Do that quickly, then the next few areas where you come back here, all the androids are going to be trapped behind that door that we just went through, and we can just we can do what we like to call the loot haven without any stresses or any worries. Androids going rogue in my alien lore. I mean, you're not wrong though. You're not wrong. Androids is being some of the biggest pains right now. Am I floating? It looked like I was floating there for a second. Maybe my brain's just playing tricks on me, so it's all good for now. Right, so what I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna have my revolver ready. Oh yeah, here we go. So this little bit here, normally if you're doing this on Nightmare, you want to go into this area with like 4 HP because you can kind of just like casually like go through the hot air that's being thrown out of the vents and take a tiny bit of damage basically, but it's not going to be enough to kill you. But it saves you having to wait for those like gushes of air to like to finish. So essentially, it's a time save to be able to go through them and take some damage, but Nightmare, it can whittle down the health like very, very quickly. So you need to be careful. So, I'm trying to think of like what essentially is happening next lore-wise, because I'm going to throw it back to Dark and Rose in just a moment. All right, so what's going to be happening very shortly is that we're going to be going through like an area where there's loads of sleeping androids. You don't want to wake up the androids. It's not a good time. So, once we get through them, then we're going to be meeting Samuel. So for about a minute, Dark and Rose, did you have any plugs that you wanted to mention?
Not at this moment right now. I'm trying to address this issue we got here.
No stress.
I should soon though.
No stress, buddy. All right. So here we go. All of these sleeping androids, and again, to go quietly, we're just gonna run, right? That's usually how it happens. Oh no, we just triggered the. Oh no, we just triggered the alarm. Oh no, it's meant to happen, by the way. So we've got to take one hit or none. Cool. I will take that. I shall absolutely take that. Like, you know, no hits is absolutely fine, but especially when you're on Nightmare, usually you would take about one hit there, so you still need to be a little bit careful there. Right. So, what we figured out from what Samuel just told us there is that essentially what's happening is Samuels is going to try to use this thing called the reformat chamber, and it's going to try to divert power to allow us, well, not even like diverting power, but it's going to try to basically tell Apollo, hey, you know, the humans are safe, they're fine, they're nothing to worry about. The humans are not the threat. But Apollo has been like so programmed that like it feels like that it doesn't understand that we are still, that it thinks that we're the infection still. So it's going to try to direct all the power into this reformat chamber to basically kill Samuels for us. And we don't want our friend to like, you know, to take the rip. We don't want that. So we're going to try to help out Samuels very shortly with these little terminals all around the way. He's going to try to tell us exactly what order to do them. Don't worry about the order. Just go clockwise, forehead. Literally just go clockwise. So it's funny because like he wants to get you to go by color coordinates, and then it will actually try to say, oh no, you can't see the colors because we just thrown on the red light. So try and like look around and stuff like that to see you know, what terminal it will be. Nah, just go clockwise. Easy. So that's one. That's two. Because normally you'd be going like back and forth to Samuels and you forget like which direction you've been to. Just clockwise. Just clockwise. Easy peasy. Here we go. And to the right, going over to the right. So yeah, here we go. So it throws on the red light, and you wouldn't be able to see like any of the color coordinates, so it makes it just a little bit tougher. But here we go. Finally at 12 o'clock, and the power has been restored. It's all been diverted somewhere else, but unfortunately, it was a bit too late. Samuels is slowly going to lose its internal power and no longer be functioning. So can we get some Bible thumbs in the chat, please, for Samuels, who actually tried to help us? So Bible thumbs, please. And the saddest part about this as well is that Samuels kind of actually says like, so this is what it feels like to be human. Like, isn't that like one of the most saddest things? Like a robot actually understanding like the human life in a sense. It's some sad territory, to say the least. So it's backed by the cloud, of course. God damn it, Super Solid Snake. Solid Spider Snake. God damn it. I'm gonna call you Super Solid Snake for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, so there's an android over here. Just go around it, and then we don't only have to do nothing. Okay. Normally we'd have to like shoot one of the androids so they could all go on the you know, all go on the animation of you know, being hit by a bullet. I guess we're fine. So no worries. So no worries. By the way, press E once on this. If you were to press E multiple times on that particular button, this tram will actually despawn as it's moving. And that will mean your game is rip. Literally. So just press it once, otherwise you'll die. It's not a good time. Now, the reason I'm using a medkit here is we're going to be going over to Loot Haven very, very shortly. There is like, I think about 3 medkits coming up very shortly, and there's a whole variety of other weapons. So it's going to be good times. It's going to be good times. We are now coming up to mission 13 very shortly. But before we do that, hit this transit button. It's going to take a bit of time for the tram to actually come over to us. So when I mentioned Loot Haven, we're going to go over this way. As mentioned earlier, all the androids are trapped behind that door there. That door is absolutely locked now, so we don't need to worry about a thing. I keep on forgetting that. Like, there we go. I keep on pressing Q instead of R. R is to pick up all, by the way. I keep on pressing Q, which is to back out. So forgive me for my idiocy. Right, so there's 3 Molotovs here that you can pick up. There's also pipe bombs that you can pick up. There's med kits. There's other loot that is available. So again, this is a very nice area. Like, a very, very nice area. So we've got everything that we need. We're going into mission 7 shortly. 7? 13. My brain is all over the place. All right, so now by the time we get there, the tram is here. Is there anything else we need to do right now? No, that's fine. Medkits, we could probably craft another one and get it ready. All right, that's fine. So we got another medkit like prepped and ready for if we need to use it. So soon TM. Also, bear with me 1 second. There we go. All right. Just had to do a quick quick message. Right, so now we're coming up into mission 13. So, you know those things that protect us, those things called weapons? Yeah, problem. We have to sacrifice them for a generous period of time. Because this part of Sevastopol won't allow it. This part of Sevastopol won't allow us to take weapons, otherwise it'll just like, it'll just send continuous alerts basically. So what we're gonna do from here is go through here, go through that temporarily, then kind of back around to be able to click on those okay, so normally you should be able to get the door to open fast, but it doesn't always happen, especially on the wheels. So that's why I tried to do that mechanic there, but yeah, so Sag, unfortunately that we weren't able to get the fast door, but no worries. Right, so we're going to be briefed by Ricardo to basically say, look, okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to try to like hack a certain part of this area, but you know, to get through, what you need to do is enter the door code first, which is 4930, and then we're going to go through. We're going to be, as you're doing these little hacks very shortly, you're going to be noticing that there is a new type of android. And this is what we like to call the Super Joes. Basically, these Super Joes have like a, like an EMP proof, like, suit on. Sort of like, what's the best way we could call it? Just sort of like, you know, like you get the sort of like EMPs, like, suits, or like electricity suits. So basically you can divert any sort of like, power, like electricity that's, a rubber suit. Yeah, it's basically a rubber suit. So anything that's like an EMP or like a stun baton or anything that's electrical, it's not going to be interfered by it. But also because it is like a bit of a rubber, it's going to make it just a little bit tougher to break. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm going to move on from it. So we have to be very, very careful around these Super Joes. These Super Joes are going to be a pain to kill later on. Thankfully, again, because we are a novice, it only takes 2 shotgun headshots. When you're on Nightmare, it takes 4 headshots. It takes 4 headshots. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful. So let's make our way. Now, there is another minor glitch that we could perform, but I just don't have the functionality on the wheel right now. I mean, I could do it on the keyboard, but again, I tried to like completely not use the keyboard in my runs apart from just saving and loading. We could do something called the gas peak, the gas mask peak to be specific, actually. And you know what? I'm actually going to save here as well because I have actually died in a marathon to this area, and I don't have to redo all of mission 13. So let's save. Let's save. Now you saw because like I was doing it on the wheel, it was a little bit slower. It's again why we are allowed to do it. Oh, by the way, there's the gas mask. There we go. We are allowed to do it on the keyboard like just temporarily. As we were taking the mask off just there, we could actually peek forwards and that would put the mask on our arm and we could get through the guy, like this guy, a lot easier without being grabbed. We would still take a punch, but it'd be more the case that we would be leapt forwards against that Super Joe and we could just carry on going forwards. Because like being able to peek is a part of the game and some people have peeked as they're taking off the mask, like they decided to make it a minor glitch because literally anyone can do it. Anyone could do that, so it makes sense really. Right, so this is the area that it wants us to hack, which is going to give us like a little bit more of an access way towards the point of talking to Apollo ourselves, like the direct point of talking to Apollo. God, that actually scared me a tiny bit. I forget that like that's a completely new sound effect to like add a little bit of a scary emphasis. Right, we need to do 3 of these little terminals, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we don't need to get this charge pack, that's fine. Now we're going to be coming back into this little stretch of hallway, well, crawlway very shortly. And that's because we're going to be using one of these little terminals, there's 2 on either side, to basically make the hacking situation for us actually humanly inputable. And I'll talk about what I mean by that in a second. Okay, so we don't want this puzzle. Okay. We want the white puzzle. This one. Because all we have to do is just do tap left and E, left and E, left and E, left and E, or right and E and right and E, and then we'll be able to find the exact sort of like alignment that we need. All the other puzzles are just a little bit too impossible on the wheel. Right. So if we didn't get to here without doing that, we'd only have 5 seconds to do 5 inputs. And unfortunately, it's not humanly possible. Even a task tool specifically for these little prompts here, I think it's only taskable that you can only do it there, if you know what I mean. So it's that kind of case of just like, don't even attempt it. I think one person nearly got to it, but like I think they actually did do the last prompt, but it's considered it to be, you know, that you didn't actually complete it. So it's a bit of a pain. Right, so now that we've actually activated that little terminal, it's going to bring up this little bit for us to actually communicate with Apollo. Apollo's basically going to say, like, you know, hey, like, you know, we've basically done everything that you've asked us to do, and we've actually diverted the power and stuff for that, but there's still just like, you know what? There's still treachery afoot. There's still like, not all the xenomorphs are off this way, and you should probably you can go down here. I'm not going to touch it. In being Apollo right now, I'm not going to touch this. But you know, you can go down to what we like to call like the reactor core and sort out everything for yourself and see what the issue's going on there. And the issue that's going on there is what we're going to be called. Going to, which is commonly known as the nest. So the nest is going to be fun. You'll see why. Right. We've got a quick moment for any plugs or anything. So Dark and Rose, did you want to take over with some plugs maybe?
No, I'm still having issues here with the donation tracker, unfortunately. But for those of you that have donated, thank you so much for donating. I'll try to get to y'all's messages as soon as I can. We're just trying to figure out what's going on here on my end. No
problem. You could also go to the donation page maybe to see the recent donos. That could be an idea. Right, for the meantime though, what we're going to be doing is there's a bit of a vehicle in our way that's kind of blocking, you know, just blocking the access to where we need to go. So we're going to bring this vehicle a little bit forwards again. As usual, engaging power, rerouting is basically the whole course of this game. It's like, you know, it's not easy to go forward, so we're gonna find an alternative route or reroute something to go forwards. And now we're gonna be getting the next upgrade for our torch, which I think is the I'm getting confused between the iron torch and the plasma torch. Let me just have a look, see quickly. It doesn't tell us. Hey, it doesn't tell us. Okay, so I forget. But anyway. Just know that is like the third sort of upgrade. We're now going to be using an EMP mine, and we're going to be placing it about here by holding the R key. And now And now, in a world where EMP mines are useful, androids go burr. So, so the android basically just stepped on the EMP mine because we kind of primed it to be like, you know, to recognize whenever there's like something electrical that will be near to it. And obviously, androids are electrical. So, you say they dream of electric sheep? Nah, they dream of electric stunning. So that EMP mine triggered, boom. So android's kind of just like blah, 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 blah. So yeah, we could just move on casually and not worry about that android. We're going to be doing the exact same thing very, very, very shortly. Solid Spider Snake in the chat says Android, but no Linux or Windows. I don't know how decent that is between my voice or anything, but I just, the rim shot was just for you, buddy. All right, we're going to throw an EMP mine just over here so that we can, like, whilst it's in a stun animation, we can then go over and whack the android till it is dead so they can no longer be a problem. They can no longer be a problem. Right, there's a blasting cap. Perfect. Always good to have the good loot. Always good to have the good loot. Right, and then we're moving over to the last terminal that we're going to engage so that all the power is going to be now rerouted over to this car over here. So we're then going to activate the winch of the car. It's going to bring it up. And then as per usual, the alternative route is going to be presented to us. So up it goes and down we go, right? Easy peasy. I was using the force there. Sorry, wrong franchise. Star Wars, Alien, that was my own joke, and it was terrible. It's usually the course of things, anyway. Right, so what were we doing? Okay, so the next area is going to feature some androids again, but we're actually going to wait a tiny bit before we go into the next area so that the androids will actually leave the room. Will actually, like, they'll leave the room, because if they don't actually leave the room correctly, then we'll be put into a bit of a soft lock stage where we can't actually progress. So we have to wait about a second here, and you'll see those androids right at the end. They're now actually going through, because it's quintessentially, if the door doesn't shut, correctly, then it's going to be kind of like inverse polarity of the invisible barrier, because it's going to think that, like, oh, but the door's up but it's technically closed, right? So that's why we have to wait for just a short period of time to let them go through, and then everything's like, it's funky-dory basically, or hunky-dory even. Right, this is the bolt gun. It's one of my favorite guns because we could do some sick no scopes in a moment. So there it is. The code here is 6832. Again, all static codes. Oh, be good if I can actually input correctly. There we go. Now the door's open. So there is some other bolt gun ammo around. It's good to oh god, I've got a beard hair like right inside my molar gums right now. Oh god. Ah. Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna have to ignore it for the whole run. Okay. Right, I might have some water in a second. By the way, everybody stay hydrated if you have not already. I've been talking a lot so far, so definitely stay hydrated. He didn't knock out the hair, damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna have to make do. Right, where were we? So we used the bolt gun to basically one-shot that android. But it doesn't have any protection on the faces, so a beard hair, Amariel, a beard hair. What did I say? A beard hair, that's what I said. What else did I say? I don't know. Anyway, once we got out of that area, we managed to get all our weapons back, apart from one, which is the flamethrower, which we will be getting back soon, but they're just randomly scattered around, like, for us to pick up, basically. So, I mean, I'm not complaining, we got some weapons back. So, here's where the fun bit begins. You see that android over there? Headshot! Let's go! Oh, I love doing that. Oh, that's spicy. Oh. Oh, that headshot though. Delicious. Now we have to be careful for which way the androids are there. So there's one to the left. Means that we converge onto the right. There's one android just here. We're going to get grabbed, aren't we? Yep, I knew it. I knew it. All right, but luckily we didn't get grabbed for too long, so we only took a small grab there. That's fine. That's fine. This is fine. All right. This is where I'm going to have to focus for a little bit more. Welcome to the nest. The nest contains xenomorphs, and we don't really enjoy the concept of xenomorphs in our video game. I mean, as much as is a base of the game, we'd rather not be around them. So, essentially, this reactor core area has been kind of like thoroughly infestated by the xenomorphs, and you can see by, like, you know, all of the whatever it is on the walls. So we got to be careful. Now, there's a cool little strat here that you can do, which is just going over to this little terminal here. This terminal would just basically invalidate the face huggers that would usually come towards you, and you can just carry on through. We do have to go in a bit of an L shape because there is an alien egg over to our right that if we get within its little radius will actually spawn a face hugger. So we want to be careful that we don't do that. So that's why we are taking that little L. We're not taking the L because we're going to be taking the dubs very shortly. Here we go. All right, just 2 flame bursts there so that we can get it to up vent at that specific one. Hopefully we've now set it on a specific set of like RNG and patterns so that we can get into our next area without the second xenomorph dropping. It's dropped behind us. That's usually okay. There's going to be a face hugger in front of us. Good. All right, focus from here. Good. That went perfectly. Even with an early dropping a xenomorph, that went perfectly. We're going to shoot here so that we can kind of bring more noise and attention over to this way. So confusing the patterns of like the xenomorph a little bit and kind of redirect one of them. We're going to be also revolver shooting just over here as well. About now. All right. Oh boy. Holy. That was nearly death. That was nearly death. Where? Which way? Which way? All right, we're fine. That area can be scary. It's not over yet. One face hugger right at the end. And there's a chance that the xenomorph can drop in a short moment as well. There we go. Let's go. All right. Woo! That's the nest done, by the way. Everybody's worst nightmare, the nest is done. Now, I'm actually going to turn down the volume a tiny bit here because this area is super, super loud. All we got to do from here on out is literally activate one of the sites, kill the androids, activate 2 puzzles on either side, and then get the other lever, activate the other 2 puzzles, and that's pretty much it. So once we've got this little section going on, Dark and Rose, if you have some donations, stuff like that, that'd be a good time for now.
We actually got a couple of donations here. $161.44 from Danny. There wasn't a message for it, but thank you so much. That was going towards Super Metroid.
Nice.
And we also have a $322.56 donation from Pascal Barbeau. No message either, but thank you so much for the donation, you guys. Keep them up.
Thank you so much for those generous donations. My goodness me, that is some hefty kindness there. So thank you everybody so much for all of the support. Right. Oh, that's just what we wanted. And that's just what we wanted. So those white puzzles, if you go immediately to the white puzzles, good. If you have like literally just one input, then you're golden. That's a time save basically. So, I mean, this is not going to be a PB run, by the way. So this is just a have fun run. But, as you can see, the RNG doesn't always want to be on our side. Who'd have thought, eh? Who'd have thought that a video game would like to present us with good RNG? Who'd have thought, eh? So, sometimes it may take a long time to actually find that white puzzle. I remember actually having one time where it took me upwards of 5 minutes to actually, like, you know, to go from one terminal to finish it because it just never presented me the white puzzle. And I was actually so infuriated by it that it felt like just a huge, like this, it was just like a big troll session. I don't know why it happened, but it's a thing that happens. All right, so they're being relatively kind. There we go. So that wasn't too bad, actually. It's not the worst kind of pans I've ever had, but again, it's all right. Right, I'm going to turn the volume back up in just a second once I pull down this lever here. Actually not yet. It's still quite loud at the moment. So again, I'm doing this just for your guys' ears because again, there's some points where it's just like abnormally loud, if you know what I mean. And this is one section because of all the electric and stuff like that as well, and all the electrical sparks. It's just insanely loud. Right, I'm gonna do this quickly. Get through, take one punch. Perfect. Okay, so we did it at just the right point so that we could just get by all of them. All right, there goes the volume. And we're back. And we're Gucci, and we're nearly done with mission 14. And we're nearly done with mission 14. My goodness me. That actually went a lot smoother than I thought it would, so I'm actually very happy with that. I'm very, very happy with that. Because obviously we had that bit of a snafu in mission 10 and mission 7. So to come back with mission 14 and actually getting through quite efficiently, I'm happy with that. I don't know if it's going to be any time save, but I'll be able to tell you guys in the RTA's essence if it is a time save very shortly. Okay. And by the way, incoming jump scare. Incoming jump scare. So for those who may be a little bit like faint of heart, here comes a jump scare. And there we go. There's a jump scare. So it seems that basically what we were doing the whole time, which was trying to set up a really, really huge EMP blast. Nah, not really. Didn't really work out in our favor. So, oopsie poopsie. Seems like we've got to try and find another way to get rid of him because it doesn't seem quite achievable right now. So we're going to try and go back to Ricardo and maybe he can help us out. Maybe he can help us out. Maybe there's something else that Ricardo with his big brain over there will be able to actually, like, you know, to give us the right kind of advices for what to do next. But again, as you can see from the text right here, something interesting is happening. Something interesting is happening. So we need to go back towards the medical area to try to maybe try to go over to like just help out the rest of Sevastopol because it seems like it's constantly like resetting its direction of powers and stuff like that. But you know, we'll just see how this goes. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we are actually going to be going to another vessel just outside of Sevastopol very shortly as well, called a name that I forget. It's always helpful when I remember my lore, isn't it? The Anisadora. There we go. The Anisadora. And over there is a reason why everything's constantly resetting and stuff like that. But I'm not going to spoil it too much. But it'll kind of make sense a little bit. It'll kind of make sense. So, I mean, it will because we're going to be playing the whole game for you. So, of course, it's going to make sense once it actually gets enacted. So, there we go. Right. We're now going into mission 15. Here's a little strat that I keep on forgetting to do that I just remembered what to do. As soon as this part of dialogue triggers in a second, we're then going to be, we just save some time RTA, so that seems good. Once the dialogue starts, we're going to be whacking aside here for a bit. There's a reason for it as well. Okay. So, normally there would be a xenomorph that would drop around here. I'm worried that I was whacking for too long there. Hopefully the xenomorph doesn't drop. It won't incur too much time loss, but I'm keeping an ear out. I'm keeping an ear out. So essentially we should just be able to run this whole area here without a xenomorph dropping. Yeah, it's all fine. We did it fine. Okay, phew. I was getting a little bit worried there. I was still a little bit worried there, but we're fine. Okay, now, this strat here doesn't quite work out too well in Novice, but it's worth a shot. We're going to be equipping our Noisemaker. The very first time that we'll ever really use a Noisemaker in this game. So here we go. Noisemaker. And we're going to run to here. Throw the Noisemaker over there. And then just sprint burst the rest of the way. By doing this, the xenomorph will kind of drop into that area, start to investigate the Noisemaker, and then we should just be able to run the rest of the way without the xenomorph like really being too much of a hassle. Again, it's not 100% on Novice. It's not 100% that it'll work. 60% of the time it works every time, so we'll see how this all kind of like flares up. And we'll like if it goes well, we should be able to go into the door and make our way through. Now, I just saw something in the chat there. Dark and Rose, did you have a short thing to say?
Yes, actually, we just reached $7,000.
Nice. Let's go. Let's go. And who was it that donated, if you don't mind me asking?
We actually got two since that happened. One from Narf at $161.44. I came here for the googly eyes. Not disappointed. YOLO. Also, you'll get a little kick out of this one. Hope the beard hair got unstuck in parentheses.
Nope, it's still there.
And then we got a hefty $537.38 donation from Jocelyn Soriol. And pardon my terrible French. Allons-y pour les Petits Rois. I don't know if I said that right.
You did good, buddy. You did good. I don't speak French either, but you know we try our best, don't we? That's the most important thing. Is the good memes. I mean, one of my friends religiously trolls me if I try to speak in other languages and tries to get me to speak in other languages. So you're fine. You're fine. But no, thank you seriously, everybody, for the donations reaching that 7,000 milestone reach. That is huge, by the way. So thank you, everybody, for donating so far. And hopefully we can meet. Yeah, that's you, wife. That's you. That's you. Yes. And reach 8K very soon. But don't forget to put your money towards incentives, because incentives are where the fun may happen, right? They may happen indeed. All right, I'm safety saving here. I am safety saving here because I have died in a marathon at this area here, and it shot me all the way back to the beginning of M15. And that's about 3 minutes of time loss. So you really don't want to take a rip here. You really don't want to take a rip. Now, I'm forgetting the code off the top of my head. Maybe I should just look at the screen and tell us. That's a good idea. 4510. Okay, good. That's fine. Okay, so 4510. Easy peasy. Now, here's another fun little thing that can happen. Hopefully, if we do this fast enough, when we get over to the second terminal, we're going to be out of body. Out of sight, out of mind, out of body. Yep, here we go. 360. 720. 1080? I don't know. Anyway, so we just spun around on our body quite a few times, about 3 times in total. Memes? Memes. So, what we're doing now is we're, again, as per usual, diverting power so that we can get further into the vehicles, because someone seems to have changed the the way that doors are locked in this area. Like this Denise door hasn't been active for a very long time, and I accidentally was pressing the E button far too much, and it is actually to our benefits because we got the first 2 prompts done quickly. Huh. I wasn't paying attention, and that not paying attention actually did well for us. So, all right, let's go. We're gonna get our flamethrower ready because there's actually one more face hugger that we need to kind of like be wary of, and I have died in another marathon to it as well. So we need to be careful. It's behind a few boxes, so sometimes the boxes can be like, you know, hit on our face, and we'll be like, we wouldn't be able to see where it is. So here we go. Wait here for a sec. Boom. And now we can progress hither forth. All right. There we go. All right. So there's a few more doors that we do have to hack on our way through. The funny thing is that when we do another glitch tech run, which is called CC only, which stands for crouch clipping only, we're able to basically bind the crouch button to the mouse wheel so that we can actually, at the right FPS, just glide through doors by like crouching super quickly. We could actually skip this whole bit of like, you know, hacking the doors and stuff like that as well by kind of going out of bounds and then using if we like navigate our vision to just one of the save prompts, like right near the end, we can just warp. It's called a save warp, where we can actually warp to the point of the save. Just press escape on the save so we don't actually save it, and then we can go fast, basically. So it's one of my favorite strats. I haven't done like a full run of CC only recently, so I might have to do that soon. Right, if you guys haven't stand up and stretched for a while, if you guys haven't hydrated, if you guys haven't taken medication, now's a very good time. I don't need to just yet because I haven't been drinking too much water, which I probably should. So for those who haven't hydrated, stay hydrated, please.
You mind if I could chime in with another donation?
Go ahead, please.
All right, we got a $107.73 donation from Siberian Bull 9. If you want Utter Chaos and Mega Man 2 Rando, let's make that hidden stage name incentive. Thank you. And yes, definitely you want to go for that. Randomizers, especially when the stage names are hidden, completely unpredictable at that point.
That actually does sound torturous. I love the sound of that. All right. Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. Thank you very much for the donations. Keep the donations rolling in and keep on supporting Le Petit Rois. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, I'm going to quickly navigate around to see if there's anything that I really need to build. We could probably build an EMP mine just in case. We don't really need to, but it means we can just get rid of all the charge packs for now. We could build another pipe bomb. I'll start crafting another pipe bomb. Stupid sensors. Oh, it's always the sensors, isn't it? Sorry, keep burping. Molotov. We've got too many Molotovs right now, so we can't do anything. Medkit, sure. We don't need any medkit right now. We're still gonna have a stun baton. Wow. I mean, I'll take it, but I was kind of surprised about that. Right. So we're just waiting for the prompt right now to be able to actually do a sequence of events for trying to stop the power from overloading, because Taylor over there to our right is trying to stop the power overloading because Marlowe is the one who's done it. Oh, by the way, spoilers alerts! Marlowe took Taylor onto the Anisadora and then basically is trying to overload the Anisadora to then explode the rest of Sebastopol, and it's like all one big sort of like, you know, combustive situation where everything goes bye-bye. Hopefully, with the kind of explosion that is caused, means that it would actually kill the Xenomorphs, but I don't think it quite works like that, especially if it's figured out that it's relatively immune to fire, but it's definitely scared by fire because it's hot and it's burning. Again, we don't really know. We don't really know because we could definitely kill the face huggers with fire, but we don't know about like full-on Xenomorphs, if you know what I mean. Right, so we managed to stop the power just a little bit, but to not the best amount of causality. But like the Anisadora will explode or get set on fire, but it won't cause like the implosion. By the way, if you guys want to get your dancing emotes ready, I think it's time to go fast again. So I want to see you guys get prepping your sour pleases or all of your dance emotes because it's time to go fast. Let's go for this one, shall we? Let's go for this song and get it ready. We're still running right now. Okay, check for loot. Nope. And it's the perfect kind of timing to get to where we need to go and to our final destination. So, how lovely. How lovely. So, we basically got out of the Anisadora as it was exploding, so good. Unfortunately, Taylor is RIP, so can we get an F in the chat, please, and an 07 for Taylor, who basically tried to help us out and for us to get out of dodge whilst they took the full brunt of fire and explosion. F07 in the chat, please, for Taylor. So, sad times. It's kind of sad times, sadly, but doesn't mean that our affairs with all the humans on board are going to be over and done with. Now, we've got a reason to get out of here. To avenge Taylor's death, basically. So, still a few more things to go on from this point onwards. Obviously, there's still more humans that we haven't quite met on board, but all we know is that we could definitely just get through them and wreck their days a little bit. So, let's just do that, shall we? Let's just get through. Here's one revolver guy we want to get rid of immediately, so... Ow. So that was a shotgun shot. Shotgun shots will take a very small percentage of health compared to revolver shots, so... Ow. How dare you touch me with that bullet? How dare you tried to shoot again and it just missed me? How dare? How dare? I have a feeble human body and you do not get to touch it, please. All right. Anyway, where were we? So, Ricardo's been here the whole time, by the way. Ricardo's been observing and is just been trying to communicate with us the whole time. So we're gonna go into this way and actually activate a bit of a dialogue prompt, but then we're gonna lay a Molotov just here. Reason for that is, when we come back around at some point, what goes around comes around is the Xenomorph, and the Xenomorph is gonna literally vent there, and then that will activate the Molotov. So obviously, when it activates the Molotov, boom! The Xenomorph is going to vent right back up and then enter a specific pattern that we want it to be in, as per usual. We want it to be in either specific patterns or different sort of you know, routines of of which ones is going to vent out of and stuff. So that one is kind of good real estate, basically. Right. When we go over to the comms control area, there are going to be 3 more humans that are on the bad side, per se. So just to cover our bases, we're going to get our pipe bomb ready. For the very reason of, in the hope that we could do a 3-for-1 takeout. I mean, we're not going to get some free food, but we're literally taking out humans. So, we got to try and throw it directly. If the dialogue prompts just ceases, then we probably got it. That looked good. That looked very, very spicy, I won't lie. The dialogue stopped dead. So did the humans. Okay, I laughed at my own joke there. There we go. Sometimes I need to be less mean in an Alien Isolation speedrun. Okay, so what... I'm trying to remember the law now. Oh, by the way, this puzzle sucks on a wheel. Okay, so... Oh, yep, if you fail it once, you got to do it all over again. Yep. Please. Oh. There we go. That puzzle sucks. So, I'll kind of explain like why that puzzle sucks in just a second. So we have to hold the direction, and then as we're holding it, press enter. Because you're on a wheel, like sometimes it's like very hard to remember which direction is which. So imagining you just getting to like realize which prompt you're on, and you try to press enter, but then the text goes away, so that means that it resets the whole puzzle and you have to do it again. I remember getting stuck in there at one point for like 10 minutes just because I was getting so infuriated by forgetting the inputs. So it's a spicy meatball, and I don't like it. So I'm glad that we're here now. What we're doing right now is getting some coordinates that we're going to try to be resetting one of the little like radio dishes that is going to be over that way. So it's giving us kind of like the right coordinates in order to be able to talk to the Taurans again. But as we're on top of the observatory, we know where to go. And now that we've seen exactly where we need to go, we need to go there. So it's going to take a bit of time. Oh, that little prompt there can be so strange. So we've probably lost a few seconds there, but I digress. It's fine. So yeah, so we're going to be going on a spacewalk situation again. Literally, we can have like a good minute of just like talking Dark and Rose if you just want to like chat the wind for a little bit and do some plugs. Now, forthcoming will be a very good moment because we're going to be entering the space again. It's going to be some slow movement because we're going to be in our spacesuit trying to get from A to B and then B to A. The only things that we need to do right now is go all the way to the end of where we need to go, and we need to activate three terminals and then one other pull down terminal. Once we've done that, it's then going to open up a like a little panel for us. This panel is where we're going to then be able to. Oh, okay, that makes sense. The first few terminals that we are doing is going to bring power to the radio dishes, so that one can be able to talk and communicate, but also for rotational purposes as well, and sort of like the up and the down motion also. So once we then get to that panel that we can open, we can then set those coordinates, which was 35 and 75, and then we're going to head back to just where we were to take off our spacesuit, and there we go. So let's talk for a little bit then. Dark and Rose, how are you feeling?
You know, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just watching you drive through space right now. That's what I'm doing, and I mean, it's been a ride.
Isn't that what like people do sometimes within vehicles? Like, because they want to go through hyperspace most of the time.
Yeah, they'll just drive at warp speed and they'll just go get to where they need to be.
I mean, the only warp speed that we can do as a human is called running.
I'm not seeing any of that right now.
Yeah, because we're going slow right now. It's there's a little thing called the vast emptiness of space that's kind of slowing us down, and it's kind of funny because you can see what looks like wind. No, it's just debris. Like, I mean, look at that. Look at that one spaceship just like casually flowing over to the right. I think that might actually be blown up in Isadora as well. So, bye, in Isadora.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know. And here's where you see Isaac Clarke is on the far left. Oh, come on, Foxdale, please.
Yeah,
nice, by the way, nice.
He's just flying out of Dead Space 2 right now with LA.
Exactly. I mean, like, it's got that same environment in Dead Space where, like, it's silent as you're going through these bits as well. So, I mean, you got to give it to that as well. Like, the vast emptiness of space. No one can hear you scream in space, right? Isn't that the alien quote?
It's one of the most terrifying things for a horror genre, honestly.
I think it's one of the most terrifying things in IRL as well. Nobody wants to be like to go out into the emptiness of space where you can literally hear nothing but your own heartbeat. Oh God, why did I say that? My feelings.
Terrifying. It's terrifying out there.
Oh, too right. Elon frantically taking notes, please.
He's just scrambling to get his pen and paper right now.
Oh yeah, like Twitch streamer Nikoheart, like fills education in mind to Elon Musk and steals ideas. Anyway, so we gotta wait for these clamp releases right now. It takes about maybe a minute or so before we actually get to the prompt of it. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then that one over there. And then again, as mentioned, we gotta work our way back up to where we just were into the middle of it. And then once we have inputted those coordinates, that's when we'll actually get some communication back. So you remember right at the very, very beginning of the person who briefed us to go over to Sevastopol by the lovely name of Verlaine. Verlaine is basically, we're going to be getting back in touch with. And Verlaine is basically going to say, hey, get back on board, like get off Sevastopol, get back on board. I'll be here very promptly. I'm gonna like get into like one of the safety locks of Sevastopol and make it easier for you to get on board. Just like the rest of the game, getting onto something easily is not the name of the game. So we're gonna have to find some alternative routes as per the usual course of things in order to be able to actually get onto the Torrens. But even then, it's not going to be that easy. So I don't want to spoil for too much. For those who haven't seen the run or played the game as well, there is going to be some spicy plays afoot very, very shortly, to say the least. So all right, yeah, I was going to say, Dr. Rose, did you want to talk a little bit more about the charity for what we're raising money towards?
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, my window just closed. Oh, hold on. Just a second. Just
no
a second.
problem.
All right, we are raising money for the Smart Home Project, in which they are trying their best to improve the lives of futures of young people that have learning and intellectual disabilities. That's going for with or without autism spectrum disorders. They're using world-class specialists to help out in the matter, alongside just new pieces of cutting-edge technology. And every single dollar of yours is going straight towards that to help those people. And yeah, right now we're just sitting at a coasty $7,200. You know, I'm thinking we can crack 8K very soon.
And I love what NoReset Speedrun himself says, go, go, go. Let's make it 7.5K before the end of the run. I'm down for that. Are you guys down for that? Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can crack that.
We can definitely do it.
Easy. How about a $5 hype train of an alien-inspired joke? I would love to hear some of your best alien jokes right now, because there's always some like hilarious puns that can be either done with just a normal alien or the Alien franchise. I want to hear some jokes from you guys. So, $5 hype train, best joke. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. So here we go again, as mentioned, like we're finally getting in touch with Verlaine again. Like we're kind of saying, just get here, like we need to get off. I don't care if we like, you know, like anything else, just get here, everything will be fine. And then we can just get out of Skadoodle and actually get back home safely, I hope. So yeah, so as you can see by the objective updated, we're trying to find a way for the Torrens to be able to dock. So we are going to be in touch with Verlaine a little bit during the course of this, and there is going to be a point in mission 17, I think, where we're going to have like find the right place in order to be able to dock, because like look how vast Sevastopol is. It's quite a big area, so it's quite hard to find exactly where you need to go. But I digress again. It's we are nearly at the end of this spacewalk area, so it's like one of those sort of like those huge downtime moments of any kind of run. So this is usually like, say if I was doing a run of this as well, I'll probably just like kick back, play some music, or play some silly like Sonic R music, because you know you're going slow to go fast sometimes is the strangest course of speedrunning tech I've ever heard. So also, fun little fact, if you look up here and you look very, very closely, we think that we've gotten rid of all the xenomorphs. However, it's not quite the case, because look right there, right in the center, just a little bit to the off the center, the xenomorph just made his way back inside. And that's the problem. And that's the problem, because, you know, we don't want xenomorphs to be in Port Sevastopol, but they managed to find their own way back. So, oopsie doopsie. And you'll see why in a second as well. So, there's another reason why we did that pipe bomb earlier on, to get rid of all three of them in one go. If we did it efficiently, then it's actually going to make, because there's going to be a xenomorph that drops down in a moment. If we did it correctly, the xenomorph is just, instead of going to be like searching around, it's just going to re-vent. So we're hoping that we did that correctly, There's another thing we have to do in lieu of it all as well, which is going to be whacking the sides of the window with the maintenance jack. So let's see how this goes. If we see one human coming towards us, then we know that we didn't quite do it, but it's not going to be the end of the world situation. So let's see how this goes. We've reloaded all our weapons and everything's ready to go. And I don't see any humans around. All right, that's good. So we saw it up vent again. That's exactly what we wanted. So my pipe bomb was a very good throw that got rid of all of the 3 humans in this area. So GG to me there. Nice throwing on a steering wheel. So that means we can get through this area without like any... You know what? I lied. God, that literally scared me. I thought we got rid of all the humans. No, there's still one that shot at us. God damn it.
Laser precision accuracy right there. Yeah. Oh my god.
Come on, man. That was mean. That was absolutely mean, wasn't it? Like, okay, sometimes there's that weird little graphical glitch I saw there as well. It's just a xenomorph like absolutely freaking out for no reason whatsoever. Okay. So with that Molotov that we just dropped earlier on, you should see some fire explode in a second. Or not. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. All right, get this guy. All right, that guy was a revolver, so... Oh, boy. Okay, there's just shotgun bullets right now. There's shotguns, so we can just keep on running. Ow. Just keep on running. With all of those gunshots, it should have actually brought the xenomorph more towards them than to us, but there's always a chance that the xenomorph could spawn right here. All right, we're Gucci. All right, so before we press the button, we're going to get the stun baton. Oh my goodness me, that was close again. I'm really toying with fate right now, aren't I? Oh God. All right, now that we got the stun baton, we're going to do a fun little strat here. I should probably reload it first. That's fine. All right. So basically we can now do this whole area absolutely silently. All we got to do is just like literally sprint bird away, but there's going to be nothing to bring any kind of attention to us. Even if we got to like flame burst one of the face huggers in a little bit, it should be no problem. Hopefully.
Someone's kettle's going off.
That nerve-wracks me a little bit, I won't lie, because sometimes like when you're in the process of like, you know, going into the next mission, there is still the chance that you can die, and because the xenomorph had literally just dropped before I'd even pressed the button, it could have been rip. So I was a little bit nervous. Oh, God. I might need to like fix my wheels because it's double inputs, not pedals, because it's double inputting sometimes as well, which can be a little bit of stress, especially for like precision of single inputting for these areas. So I'm gonna have to look, see maybe if it's my bindings or if it's got something to do with rewires or something. Very possibly, actually. But anyway, so if we had another stun baton charge here, then we could have actually stun batoned this face hugger, and this would have been absolutely silent. But we're gonna just do this.
I imagine that this.
Now we're hoping that the face hugger didn't make too much noise, so that we can also preserve our flamethrower fuel, whilst the xenomorph could drop to our right here in a second. All right, because we're not hearing any noise right now, that means that we are good.
Yeah. And
that we've been silent enough so that it wouldn't like bring down the xenomorph here. So we're good. We're good. Is there anything else I could craft right now whilst we're at it?
Go ahead, Tom.
We need one more blasting cap. If we can get that, that'd be good. You know what we could do, actually? Let's go over to the human on the floor. Let's see what his loot is. I mean, shotgun shells, that's not bad at all, actually. So if we can find another blasting cap, then we're going to have another pipe bomb at hand, which would be actually kind of easy. Molotovs could come in handy later on.
For either of them. This is bold, by the way.
Right, I think I'm going to try and craft a Molotov. So we're going to need a sensor and a blasting cap.
So.
Because we could definitely
use that. No, it's fine, because I'm in this race too.
Why did I run? Because I wanted to be as silent as possible,
it's
not
fine.
run.
I'm for here.
I'm so used to running into trams for some reason that I completely skipped over the mentality of like, hey, we still need to be silent around this way. We still need to be silent. But I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine.
There's Rico.
So, realistically, if we were completely silent that whole way, we could just leg it to this next point of the elevator. So, here's hoping. And again, we are a novice, so it shouldn't be we shouldn't be making too much of noise and
don't worry, you're gonna be muted
stress. Anyway. All right, good. All fine, all fine. Now this bit here can actually rip a run, because we're gonna be encountering another Super Joe that we met earlier on, the one with the suits. These androids can be a bit of a pain sometimes, you know, because we want to try to do things quite efficiently, quickly. So I'm going to safety save here for the meantime, and I'll kind of explain as I'm doing it, the kind of strategy I'm mentioning. So we're going to get a shotgun going. Once we have got the shotgun, we're making sure that it's fully loaded, and we're going to go over to the Super Joe, and we're going to shoot it in the chest, get over to the next door, and change over to our Molotov. There we go. Making sure we have at least 2 here.
Is doing the kettle noise.
Throwing the Molotov over at the Xenomorph. Making sure it up vents. Going to this little terminal here. The code's going to be 1984. If you guys know the references, then I'm sure you guys are going to appreciate that number in specific. It's economies a few things. Now you see that android right over there. Depending on the timing of you doing all of that. All right, that's bad. See what I mean by that double inputting is very, very aggravating.
All right, well, anyway, I'm going to be...
It's very, very aggravating. So we've now got to be quite quick with this little pickup. So we're going to get the key. All right, there we go. I'm going to have to check what's going on with my wheel. I'm going to check what's going on with my wheel because that double inputting is getting kind of annoying.
Let's not talk about food. I won't be able to...
Now that we've done all of that, we're going to grab an EMP mine.
For like the next 2
hours.
And
we're going to throw it around over there. Get our flamethrower back. Now, hopefully we generated enough noise over there that the Xenomorph is not going to drop on this side. I say that with hope. So not heard any drop just yet. I still haven't heard any drop. Well, that's kind of nerve-wracking. All right, all of my thoughts about this area are probably going to go through the roof, so I'm going to have to do this on the spot. Because if the Xenomorph hasn't dropped anywhere, then the patterns are very strange. I managed to get a lot of loot for that guy on the floor, so that's good. I'm actually going to heal right now as well, just for safe measures. Oh boy. Yeah, this is conflicting right now. We've got another sensor, perfect. So we can actually make another Molotov. Well, add this to another Molotov, which we will need later.
Yeah. All right, well.
Okay, this is what it is. Concerning. This is very, very concerning, actually, at the moment. All right, there's a facehugger over here. Now, we're going to be using another Molotov very, very shortly because the radius blast of the Molotov is going to be able to go through the window, surprisingly. Here we go. Throw. Switch back to flamethrower, and then make our way through. So you can hear that it's now on its way to up vent because it's basically been hit by the radial blast of it as well. Okay. All right. So we've got to be careful here. We've got to be careful from here because again, we're going to do a PC only strat very shortly. So I am going to save right now. Here we go. Here comes the PC only strat. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the right here, flame 4 times, and then get to this little lever here. Okay, so we didn't do that correctly because we actually didn't... I don't think we appropriately flamed the Xenomorph in the right way. So that is a rip. Okay, so from here, let's try that again. That should be better. So as you can see right there, we didn't take any any grab or anything like that because we had basically flamed it enough for it to not realize that we were in the kind of radius area of the xenomorph, and it was going directly into his like walking animation of going to up vent. So that is a PC only strat. You cannot do that on console or like PC, like on Xbox or anything like that now. So that's a tough PC only strat, if you know what I mean. And you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Right. So we have to head back to here. So this is like a nice little, well, I say nice little, but it's a back and forth situation. I'm going to be quiet from here because the music is awesome. Listen to the music. Marathon first.
That scared the heck out of me. I did not see that coming.
Neither did I, hence me taking a rip there. That is essentially a marathon first because I have never died to that overhead vent. I've never died to that vent in a marathon, so marathon first. I forgot. We need to hug the sides so that we don't get vented. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought, hey? Now, you know, doing the speedrun as you should intend would actually help you to go fast. I didn't know. Wow.
New information coming in.
All right, let's try that again. Quiet for the music, the glorious musics. Difference. God, his music slapping. Should be around here-ish. What? I don't think I've ever had that in my course of speedrunning ever. I may lie. I think I've had it once, but I've never seen that in the longest kind of time, so wow. Yeah, problem. Sometimes the xenomorphs can vent there as well. They can actually vent into that little stretch of like I heard the venting sound. I was kind of like, come on, really? Like there's a few marathon firsts, I guess. That's the first time in a marathon I've ever been, if the xenomorph has ever vented there. And also venting a little bit prior as well, because I usually know that I've got to hang to the side, so I kind of messed up there a little bit. But it's all fine, it's all fine. Because we're now going into mission 18. Second to last mission, everybody. Mission 19 is literally like a minute, so we're on the pretty much like final stretch of this run. Final stretch. So, if you guys want to get in your donations for this run, now would be a very, very good time. We've got time to maybe like read out a few quick donations if we do have any.
We actually got one more donation from a Michelin Maroy, $161.44. Thank you so much, and that was towards Super Metroid.
Thank you very, very much for that donation, you absolute legends. Right, here we go. Mission 18. So this one could be a little bit specific, especially in Nightmare. This one is very specific. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna roll with it as I'm gonna talk about it. We're gonna get over to this little terminal here. We're gonna be doing the little line hack. And from here on out, we need to be a little bit stealthy. So we're gonna like start sprint bursting from here on out, because the xenomorphs, from that very point of that one hack being active, the xenomorphs are now active. The reason that we're gonna be going underneath here is that this will engage power for the other terminal hack over to the left. In another run that we do, we can actually enable those hacks from a distance, so that like because again they have like circular radiuses around the actual point of activation. If you go into the point of its radius, then it's going to appear that it's like, you know, offline. But if you're outside of the radius and you can just navigate towards the point of pressing E on it, then you can actually activate it without there being any power. So we have to go underneath there, especially on a no major glitches run, because that is actually a major glitch, to activate the power as thusly here. So again, because the xenomorphs are active, we are going to have to be we're going to have to be very, very stealthy again. But and this is the one android I was talking about earlier on. Making sure that you're looking at it while circling around it. Otherwise, if you turn your back to it, then it's going to grab you. So this was like way earlier on, back in like mission 10, I mentioned it. So this is why we we do that. Now, in a different runs, we normally throw a flare just under to our left, but no major glitches. We are going to be trying to flame both of the xenomorphs in this area. So we're just going to try to start making our way up to the top area here, which we're going to be able to disengage the second of the locking the locking clamps, of the clamp mechanisms, which is what we did for that first PC, which I didn't mention, by the way, is that like it's like one of the sides of the unclamping, basically. And here's the other PC for the other one. There we go. And from here on we can just run. Because this is on novice, I'm gonna take this easy, and well, I'm gonna do this not safety save, because I'm very confident here. That one's gonna up vent. Hang here. Get ready to. There we go. There we go. It's venting up, and both of them should both be in the vent right now. They should not be a worry. So we can just make our way over to this tiny bit here, and we're golden. We don't have to worry. Good. Novice is usually fine if you're able to flame, like, especially for the bottom one as well, if you're able to flame it without the xenomorph getting too close, otherwise it will do the grab thing. But that bit is very, very, like, nicely, just nice flow on Novice, so we're fine there. So what happened there? We're getting harvested right now. The xenomorph basically got a hold of us and knocked us unconscious, and then tried to get us into the point of being harvested. Now, if you noticed in mission 14, you might have seen a few humans being like inside of those wrappings of the material that is like being held up by, and a little bit sort of like, you know, dead in the face, because they are being harvested essentially. Luckily, we just managed to break out of the being unconscious before we were getting harvested. So thanks to our superhuman strength, we can actually break out of it, and we're still on the mission to be getting out of Sevastopol. Because we have unclamped the torrents right now, we are still kind of good to go, but it's not completely unclamped yet, because like we need to wait for a point where we can explode the rest of Sevastopol for ourselves, because in fact, that's it. I'll talk about that in a second. First off, what we're going to do is just flame these guys a little bit here. I went back a tiny bit because usually in another run, we would be able to kill two facehuggers at the same time with one shotgun shot. But I just kind of wanted to take it a tiny bit easy. I'm also going to take it easy as well, because you can do a really fast strat here, which is called the Hugger Boost, which is where, like, as you're being attacked from, like, a xenomorph, no, a facehugger is grabbing you from behind, it will just launch you forwards. And as long as you flame at the appropriate point, you can, like, keep that zoom, but the facehugger will be dead. When you're doing it with, like, a weapon, like a revolver or a... speaking of revolver, I'm going to get the revolver in a second. With a revolver or a shotgun, it's not as easy. It's not as easy. Right, here comes the strats. The reason that I shot my revolver there is because we despawned one of the xenomorphs from dropping down. You can either do that with a flare or a revolver bullet as soon as you get into the, and like, you know, to the point of where you have keyboard control again. That way we were just able to run past that xenomorph that was just literally via feed, just like a small doggy, without the worry of it being like, you know, of it, you know, attacking us. So, because again, they're all in like scripted animations. As long as one was down, we still had that luxury of being able to run. By the way, don't run too far forehead, because there's a train incoming. You're gonna miss it. Here it is. I almost, wow, I almost ran into the train. I was like waiting for it for like, I was being a bit too impatient. Oh God. Oh, that can happen sometimes. Okay, that little gap is the biggest pain sometimes. And you can see, like, I tried to make it, but it just kind of knocked me off a little bit to the right there. So essentially, like, after we do that little getting down the ladder, that's going to be our suplex in a train too, right? What is going on? I have never had this much difficulty ever. Really, game? Really? Really, game? Excuse me 1 second. That's how it should have happened. Why was I having so much difficulty? Excuse me? I don't think I've ever taken like more than like a single death at any time ever. Having two, that's strange. That is strange. Now I want to suplex the train even more. I have more merit and reason for it because of it being just a bit of a pain. I'm just gonna blame it on Novice. You know what? Let's just blame it on Novice. Novice is one of the harder categories. Let's just blame it on Novice, shall we? Now, there's a flare there. We don't need it. Okay. These are the last two facehuggers that we will encounter in this whole entire run. Boom, 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 boom. And it feels good just to waste all of your fuel right there because them's the last enemies. Them's the last enemies. Here comes a fun little speed tech, by the way. Press E, hold run and forwards. Elevators don't exist. Essentially, it still thinks that we're kind of like on the ladder. So when it realizes that we're standing on something that shouldn't be there, it's like, oh yeah, how about just casually despawn the elevator? And that's what happens. Basically, the elevator despawns and we just fall through into the cutscene. So we don't take the brunt of the fall, but the cutscene's there for us. So we get away with it, luckily. Right, we're coming up to the final 5 minutes of this run, by the way. The final 5 minutes of this run, it's nearly done. It's nearly done, and it's going to be about roughly a 308, 309. So I think we're just going to be underneath our estimate. Even with a few casualties and deaths that we had earlier on. I think we're still underestimate, which is not bad, actually. This is why I'm a little bit generous of my estimate, because the chance for death is usually going to happen, and we saw that quite a few times throughout this run. So honestly, it's not too bad. But yeah, as you can see, the Torrens is literally just over here, like right in front of us. We're getting ready to leave, but we're waiting to do one more thing. At the very end of this, this whole bit here, are some cylinders. These cylinders are going to be, we're going to prime these cylinders so that as soon as we activate them, it's going to start to self-destruct the Sebastopol for us. It's going to go into bursting flame of fire, and we can skedaddle with the Torrens and literally be outside of the radius of the explosion and stuff. So bearing in mind, if we manage to do that all well and all fine, we can just get away scot-free with Elaine and we're all good. But there's something more fun that we can do in the lure ball with this as well, which is called double pins. Here's the thing, on mouse and keyboard, it's very easy to do. On a steering wheel, perchance, not the easiest thing to do. So let's try and get double pins on the wheel. There is 2 sets of 2 pins. So if we get both double pins, I want to see some hype in the chat. If we get 1 double pin, I want to see some hype in the chat. If we get 0 double pins, I still want to see some hype in the chat, because we're literally going into the very last mission anyway, and that's going to be near the end of the run. So, well, hype that a run has nearly finished, am I right? So just hype all around. Just hype all around. So there's some key cards on either side that we have to get first and foremost, because these key cards, once entered on both sides, is going to then start lifting up the lid so that we can then prime the cylinders. So here we go. We're going to use, we're going to do the releasing of it. So pull the lever down. Here comes a key card. Just a nice little casual mouse turn over to the left, or in this case, wheel turn. Getting ourselves over to the other side, and then it's time to try the double pins. It's time to try. It's been a while since I've done on the wheel, but I do have a setup. I do have a bit of a setup that usually will work. So, I can only hope for the best. I can only hope. All right. Here we go. Here we go. I think that was the one double pin. I think that was. If we see the left one going up as well. That's one double pin. All right, all right. Still one more to go. I think that was the second double pin. Confirmation will be if we get the cutscene. We got 2 double pins. Let's go. It's been a long time since I've done double pins, so let's go. It's literally been a long time since I've done double pins on a steering wheel. So after all of the faffering around that we had earlier on, that's a nice way to conclude the run. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Hey, by the way, it's time to activate the cylinders and boom. So it's going to knock everything off. We're going to land on the door of the Torrens. And you can see now that the Torrens is starting to explode, but we don't need to watch that. We just need to go fast. Now, there's a chance to have a thing called fast walk here. Unfortunately, we didn't get fast walk. Or what was it? Whatever it was, like, whatever the name was. Basically, there's a chance that we'll just, like, start running in our spacesuits. Unfortunately, we lost about 8.9 seconds of time. But who cares? We got double pins. We got double pins. We didn't get fast walk here. Doesn't matter. All right. Tech, time is coming up very, very promptly, okay? Time is coming up very, very promptly. So I'll call out for when time finishes in just like about maybe 30, 45 seconds. So be on the listen out for when I call time. So all we got to do right here is just literally kind of spam down, left, right, up, A, B starts. And they'll kind of like get to a point where we just need to press E. Once we press E, that's the final input. All right. And time. All right. So for my count, it is a 3:07:18 RTA and a 3 hours, 2 minutes and 21 seconds in-game time without the lows removed. So for a marathon run, that was not bad actually. That was pretty damn decent. So I'm thoroughly satisfied with the run and being able to showcase you guys Alien Isolation performed on a steering wheel. I hope you guys also did enjoy, and thank you to all the amazing donations that came through, because you guys came through with donations, hitting that 7K milestone as well. So thank you very, very much for everyone who donated and supported this run, who came through, who got to watch for maybe like even a couple of minutes, or got to watch it for the entirety, and everyone who chatted with us as well. Thank you very, very much. Right, what else? What can I say as well before we wrap up into the next run, which I should probably find out who is going to be racing next. But I could probably just say that if you guys want to find out a little bit more about Alien Isolation, head on over to speedrun.com/AI. On there will be a link to the Discord community, which you can ask some questions about the run. There's a great amount of resources and tutorials on speedrun.com and the YouTube as well. There's a lot of work going into the crouch clipping only runs as well. I would love to see some more runners and some fresh meat for this game. But I hope you guys enjoy this as well. And if you guys want to catch me on Twitch as well, I also do variety streaming and different unconventional speed runnings on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nikoheart. And I think that's all I really need to say. So, Dark and Rose.
I mean, you've already said everything that I had to say, but this was a great run. Like, I had such a great time watching this. Thank you so much for the run, dude. It was
no problem. It's always
run.
A pleasure to be able to showcase it, and thank you, NoReset, as well, for having me to showcase. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll be back soon enough. We'll be coming up with what I believe on the list is, oh, actually, is it the? It's actually a Mega Man 2 randomizer.
Ooh, nice.
It's actually a 4-way. Is this what I'm looking at here? Is this a 4-way race on 80% EC? And also on hosting duties would be Caller 21. Yeah, this will be the end of my run here too. So, this is my first time hosting. I really appreciate the opportunity, despite some of the little hiccups that we had along the way. I had a fun time. Yeah, like, thank you so much. This was a fantastic run, and this is one of my favorite games of all time. So it's always a treat to see more stuff for Alien.
Hey, you did great, buddy. You did great, man. You did great hosting. Can we get some claps in the chat for Dark and Rose as well, please, for their first hosting shift, and hopefully many more in future.
Yeah, hopefully so. Sorry to gush, but if anyone hasn't played this game, I highly recommend that you should. This is one of the best Alien games of all time. Hopefully they'll come out with another one soon.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. It's been years. I'm still hoping.
We all linger on a hope and a prayer. Living on a prayer. Anyway.
We'll be back soon enough, and we'll get ourselves ready for the next run.